All right, I think we're live. So welcome everyone to another Matt Maran Motoring live stream here on the Matt Maran Motoring YouTube channel. I hope you're all having a great Sunday here so far. Thanks so much for joining in here in the live stream. So yeah, like all the usual live streams, we're going to go for about 2 hours. I'm going to give priority answering to anyone who does a super chat or a super thanks, as well as anyone who's a member there with those green user names. Those are going to be the people that get the priority answering. And there's a link in the description if you'd like to get priority answering as well and join in with the memberships here. But anyway, I also see thanks MDKN for rejoining as well. Really appreciate it. And I see we have Brian and Ace and Doyle, Trenton Car Guy, Kyle, Ludacris, Raphael, Wheatman, Luke, and Cam Jam. Thanks to everyone for joining in here, and appreciate the aloha from Cam Jam. And all right, so let me see. I think first question here I see from B. Doyle says, what is your overall opinion of the BMW Z4 M40i? I really liked it in the very short drive that I did. I only had a chance to do a quick little drive in it, and it's a quick drive video on the channel. That was basically my entire experience. Was that, I don't know, it's probably a 10-minute video, and I've never had a chance to do a longer drive in one since. But I really liked it. It was most of the same stuff I loved about the Supra, except with a convertible top. And so, and also you get the more premium, newer BMW interior in those. So I really like the Z4, and especially knowing what I know about Supra and what I know about that platform and stuff, putting the pieces together to kind of build out my opinion of it, even based around just a little 10-minute test drive that I did essentially. I really like the Z4, and I think Z4 is probably underappreciated in my opinion. And yeah, I've always liked them. I'd love to, have another go on one, but from what I have experienced with it, I would actually recommend it. I think it's great. They sound so good. And yeah, I really love that car. And Kevin, thanks so much for a super chat. He says, Altima SR versus Camry TRD, compare the ride quality. Ride quality, I would say, is going to be better in the Altima, because the Altima, the SR isn't really that sporty. And so if ride quality is your top priority, Altima is going to be the way to go there. You also have those zero gravity seats that Nissan's famous for in those. And so between that and the softer setup, it's less sporty than Camry for sure by a long shot, in my opinion. But if ride quality is your number one thing, Altima is definitely the way to go. So hopefully that helps you. Definitely check out my Altima review if you haven't. I did review an SR last year and my Camry TRD to get more impressions as well. And I see Nick Murray's in the house. Thanks so much for joining in, Nick. And it's been far too long since I've seen you, buddy. We gotta meet up at some point here soon. But he says, Matt, I'm just joining to say great work with the weekly car news updates. I enjoy it every week. Also, I think you're sexy. Right back at you, Nick. You're one sexy beast as well. But thanks for. I'm glad you like the weekly updates there, Nick. And yeah, so it's it's a thrill to have you in here, Nick. So thanks so much for joining in. And yes, like I said, we must get together for another collab sometime soon. You're awesome. And everyone, if you're curious, by the way, he has an awesome YouTube channel as well. He does a bunch of Porsche reviews and a bunch of other fun little videos that he does, some tech stuff and all that. And always gets some of the best hate comments as well. Him and Savage Geese are right up there with having like the most hilarious commenters on YouTube, at least in the car world, in my opinion. Definitely just peruse the Nick Murray comment section and you're guaranteed for at least one or two good laughs. So yeah, thanks for joining in, Nick. And let me see, gonna get back to their questions here. So Kyle said he had no idea about the Dodge Charger photos until I watched your weekly update. I got to mute my computer there. But he says I need those videos. I'm glad that you also like the weekly updates. I'm really happy that they are informative, even though I am late on some of the news sometimes. I'm glad that Kyle enjoys them, and Nick, and hopefully a few others there. And yeah, we'll keep those going as long as we can. It's definitely one of the more challenging videos to do with how fast news expires these days. But I enjoy doing them nonetheless, and I'm glad you guys enjoy them too. Ludacris Fool says, so the first GR Super got the manual, and now the Z4 M40i gets it as well. We've come full circle. It is kind of funny how BMW wanted to get in on the action as well. And also Beth just texted me, Nick, and said that you're her favorite as well. She always enjoys your stuff there, and we definitely got to all hang out sometime soon. But let me see. So Luke, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, rumor has it Civic Hybrid will be the 2-liter with 181 horsepower. Yeah, so I think, I'm curious, I am inclined to believe that rumor that yes, it will get the same, power plant that it gets in Europe. I still think, there could be a case made for just copy and pasting the hybrid system we get here in the States, which is 204 horsepower and a little bit more torque, 247 pound-feet. But they might feel like that would threaten SI too much if it's that much faster than an SI, because at that point you're actually, by the specs, even more horsepower than an SI versus the 181, and that, could kind of be spun as, yes, it's got a little more torque than the SI, but they can kind of sweep that under the rug and, still keep the SI with its pecking order there. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe the Integra, if they do a hybrid version of that, could maybe get the punchier setup or something. So yeah, but it's I'll be curious to see. I mean, I guess we only have a few more months to wait. We already saw some pictures of it here in the weekly update, and hopefully we get more specs and stuff in the next coming months, because it's coming fast. So I think they said even production might begin, I think it was April or May, so coming very, very quickly. So that was a nice surprise. I wasn't sure exactly when that was coming. Idaho Spud says, which do you think will happen first, all-wheel drive hybrid Maverick or hybrid Santa Cruz? With how stubborn Ford is, I'd say hybrid Santa Cruz, because Maverick all-wheel drive already, the hybrid just seems like it would make so much sense, and yet they're not doing it. And so, there's got to be some kind of hold up there. I mean, they know the demand is there, and I mean, I guess maybe they're just so hot with the sales of the regular Maverick, they don't feel the need to invest a single penny into developing anything new for a little while. I don't know. We'll have to see, but yeah, I'd say the way Hyundai's always giving 110% and doing the stuff that other companies won't sometimes, I'd put my money on the Santa Cruz. Raphael, thank you so much for the super chat as well. He says, this cold snap didn't help EV reputations at all. My neighbor doesn't have a garage and lost half her range with it sitting out overnight. Yeah, that is definitely the challenge. And that's part of one of the reasons why, I mean, I'm not sure your neighbor's set up, but if they can plug in, I mean, that's what even Ford sent an email, like a reminder email to all Mach-E and Lightning owners recently that was like, here's some tips for managing the winter in your EV. And that was one of the things is, make sure that you are charging it and having it plugged in all the time so it can dip into that, and making sure that battery is topped off if it does deplete itself a little faster. And even it helps, like if you have it on the charger, you can set a departure time, and and I think most EVs will do this. It'll preheat the cabin and all that stuff ahead of time, so you're not using battery power for that stuff. You're using your house power to get the car warmed up. That gives you a lot better range too when you set off. There's a lot of things you can do. It's just you got to be a planner, and you really got to make sure that you definitely have an at-home charger in one form or another. And I definitely would say anyone who's considering an EV, if you cannot plug it in at the very least at your workplace every day, but ideally I would say you have to be able to plug in at home. If you live in an apartment or you street park, do not buy an EV. Just it might be appealing, but it's going to be more headache than it's worth. Even if you're in a place like California with sky-high gas prices, I would just say get a hybrid, or maybe a plug-in hybrid if you want to try and sneak in a charge every once in a while and you're really desperate for the electric experience. But, for apartment dwellers and street parkers, stick with a hybrid, until we get to these solid-state batteries in a few years with a 5-minute fill-ups and 600 miles of range and all that. Once that happens, then I could, make a case for people that can't charge every day. But otherwise, it does not make sense if you're not a homeowner. Let me see. So let me see. Where would I leave off here? Cam Jam says, how is the Bose in the Civic Si? It's actually very good. It's a very good system. I think this new Bose system in the Hondas is fantastic. So it's a nice upgrade. If I were getting a Honda, I would want the Bose system for sure, because it is really the first time, honestly, in my opinion, it's the first time I've been impressed with a stereo in a Honda at all. Like, they've always been very mediocre at best. This was actually like a really good one. Jazz says, you shaved, looks great. Yes, I knew you'd be happy, Jazz. I finally was able to shave yesterday. I got a day of scruff on me already, so I'm working on the next beard for this week. But yeah, I was able to have some time to shave yesterday. Thanks for chiming in here and for hanging out, Jazz. Trent Cargill says, I was talking with my coworkers earlier. If Mazda goes forward with the next gen Miata, do you see them doing some luxury to keep the theme of luxury they have been going after, or staying sporty? I think the Miata is kind of separate from the rest of Mazda, just because there are so many people that are so passionate about it. And, we've kind of already heard about them alluding to this with the electrification conversation. where within Mazda, there's some people that are like, look, we got to take it into the future. We got to, do heavier electrification. And then there's the purists that are like, over my dead body, are we making this thing any heavier than it needs to be, to just pass safety regulations? And, so there's very passionate people in the Miata, world within Mazda itself. And I don't, I think the luxury thing is certainly a play for mass market. They know Miata buyers. They know that, 70% of them buy manuals. They know that, or I think it's 60%, 60 or 70%. I just read for Miatas. I mean, it's very high. They know there's an enthusiast that wants a simple, bare bones sports car at an affordable price. I don't think they would do luxury. I think I would see them doing some type of RX-9 is a more luxurious play. We saw that thing back in the fall, the whatever they're gonna end up calling it, the new little Mazda sports car. I think that could make a luxury play. We've also seen what appears to be, basically like a coupe version of whatever Mazda 6 thing is potentially coming down the road. And just doing like a coupe version of that, or something. I mean, there's been concepts of that as well. So I think, Miata's its own thing. RX-9 or whatever could be its own thing as well, and keep those small, and then have a luxury coupe kind of thing if they really want to play in the luxury realm and compete with, the Mercedes CLE that's coming here and the 4 Series and stuff like that. I think that would be the play. Would be a separate car. Mazda, I mean, could certainly use more models in the lineup. They don't have a super large lineup of vehicles, honestly, and so I think if my bet, I mean, again, I don't know. This is just me being, armchair product planner over here, but I think that they would just start adding more models instead of messing with success with the stuff that they currently have. But it's a good question though, because I mean, you would think, yeah, you got to keep everything premium to live up to that Mazda name if that's going to now be a luxury thing. And I think I can see them making it swankier on the inside, and they're already kind of doing that with the new screen and stuff. But I think it's going to be only so far they can go, because they're not going to compromise the weight, I don't think, in those. I think they're very protective of that. And I will be, there's the CX-70 launch coming up here next week. And that's already been announced that that's going to be happening. So I believe I'm at liberty to say that I'm going to be there, and I'll be filming CX-70. And so yes, I can maybe try and bend the ears of the Mazda people there and see if I can get any kind of scoop on a new Miata, and I can even, kind of bring up the luxury idea and see what their response is. Maybe I can come back here next week and give you guys a little inside scoop maybe. Let me see. Ludicrous Fool says, and I have some good news. The MR2 GTS Turbo I talked about last stream, I've come to a deal with the seller of it. I'm going to finally own a car under my name soon and start it off with a banger. That is awesome. Congrats. And what an awesome first car to have under your name there. That is awesome, man. That I've never driven one of those MR2s, but I can only imagine it's going to be a great, really fun experience. I do know from people that I've talked to in the past that have owned them, this was a long time ago, but they do like to snap over-steer, and you definitely got to be careful with the mid-engine, because it's a short wheelbase and it's mid-engine. And so, especially with the turbo, those things, spool up. It's old school turbo where it's like nothing, wham, there it is. And so, yeah, definitely, make sure you have a good learning curve with that car so it doesn't bite back on you too much, but it should be a blast, I'm sure. And huge congrats. I'm glad you're able to come up with a deal there for it. So that's awesome. You can come in if you want. So surprise, little, I think you can open up the door, Beth. It's good. Beth is going to come make an appearance, I think, if she wants. And you want to come say hello? Sure. We've been debating this for a little bit, so I'll get back to the member questions for sure, but I'm going to just scroll down to the bottom here, and if anyone has any questions for Beth, you can pull up a chair. She's not going to stay the whole time, but you can stay for. I'm going the wrong way. Let me see, or I'll slide this way.
Let's go that way, yeah.
And you can come join in and say hello.
Hello. Hey guys, here I am.
So, yes, if there's any questions, we haven't done any. We did like a Q&A. Was it probably like 2015 or 2016? We haven't done anything since, really, outside of like the little bloopers that some of you members see and stuff like that. But everyone's saying hello there.
Hello, everyone. I see a lot of your comments. I do watch a lot of the live streams sometimes, but sometimes I'm doing my own thing. So, but it's fun to see all you guys, and I recognize a lot of your names. So it's cool to see everybody.
So Stratus says, does Beth drink scotch?
No, I honestly, I don't really drink that much. It's fun to have something every once in a while. It's not like any kind of weird, like hold up or anything. I'm just not too much of a drinker, but I can definitely drink. but
She can definitely drink if she wants to.
Yeah, there's been some times, but it's just not my thing all the time. But yeah.
And Raphael, thanks for the super chat. He says, no question, this is purely because Beth is here. This is as great as the interior reviews.
Yes, here I am. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm not super great, but thanks.
Yeah, we try our best with those interior reviews. They haven't quite taken off still yet, but some of them get pretty good views every once in a while. So we're going to keep plugging away at them when we think it makes sense.
Yep, that's my work time. So
let me see other questions here for Beth.
Interior review of the office room. Here it is.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't have too much. I think he just did one, didn't you?
I did the shelf tour. Yeah, if you're a member, there's the shelf tour. You can check that out and see all that stuff.
Here, grab
none of the other stuff.
Grab this. We got
what?
A Kleenex box, everyone.
Yeah, all the basic office essentials.
We have what are these?
Chocolates
from Christmas from his mom.
Random little things. And
do you want some Werther's Originals from my mom for Christmas?
She's really pulling the grandma move with the Werther's Originals. Now that she's a grandma, I'm like, man, I haven't seen a Werther's Original since my grandma gave me some. So.
But one of Matt's favorite things are Reese trees or any Reese shaped things.
Those Reese shapes are so good.
So I literally
there's a whole, you can't even grab them.
No, I can't.
There's a giant pile. You can take our word for it.
In his Christmas stocking, I put like 500 in there. So he loves those.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, I will steal them because I like them too. But they're not my favorite.
Yeah. Let me see other questions here we have for you.
A fedora. Here we go. Here's one. Do you want me to try them on?
There you go. You can try on all my
See?
Collection of fedoras that I can't pull off anymore, so I never wear them.
Here's our child's. We got her one when she was a little baby. So
she probably wore that once about as often as I wear mine.
Here's another one. This one has a
You're making SL Vaughn up's night here with all the hats. He watched all the old videos. You remember?
Oh, here we go. And here we went to when we were first dating. We went to a Pirates game and we got Pirates fedoras.
Matching Pirates fedoras.
He was very excited, but I never wore them because I don't like fedoras. So.
He says fedora and Pico was a banger. Man, you're an OG for remembering that stuff.
And last but not least, this one here. Yeah. This one's kind of big.
Yeah.
I don't like. I don't think I.
I think they look good on you, but
I don't like hats.
So. But
I don't wear hats.
And that's my whole collection.
There's a whole collection here. This is from his sisters when they went to her and her husband went to
San Francisco. Coolest way to get chocolates
cool?
In a trolley.
Yeah. But our daughter wanted it more than he did. So
that's the bottom says Columbo, the car reviewer. Pretty much. I wish I looked even as good as he did in that. Idaho says hats suit you. And let me see other questions here for Beth. What was
here? Look, this is a Christmas gift I got Matt one year.
That's my mouse pad.
It's his mouse pad.
I still use mouse pads. I don't know if that's weird to use with a mouse still or not. I don't know, but
Well, here's his mouse. See, this is
But what else? Let me see.
Here's a keyboard.
Cam Jam says, "What was Beth's interior surprise of last year?"
A surprise,
as far as like a vehicle.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know. To be completely honest, I'll say I don't necessarily remember or retain very many of the cars we review, because Matt will say, "Oh my gosh, do you remember this one and this car and this and that car?" And I'm like, yes and no. I'll reference the video and that will help. I'm not stupid, but I just it's not your focus or your job. Yeah, it's not my job. So I'm not I'm not always super focused on it, but I do give real time impressions, especially that week that we drive it and everything. So there you go.
Yeah. And Tom, thank you so much for the super chat.
Yes, Tom. Thanks.
Hey Beth, what is your favorite thing about your Mach-E?
honestly, I love a lot about it. I really, really, really wanted an electric car. Not only for the fact, I just think I hated. I had a Ford Fiesta and I hated the pickup in that car, and I just want to touch the gas pedal and have it go. And so that was like that was why I was like, I think an electric car would be super great for me. And that's why I chose it, because as soon as I hit the gas pedal, it goes. But I think, I don't know, one of my favorite things was when we had it as a press car. I was insanely pregnant. I was like a couple
you're
weeks,
like a week away from popping.
yeah,
out
I
at
was
that
a
point.
couple of weeks away from giving birth, and those were the most comfortable seats, and I will stand by that. They're like a retro car, like they're couch seats. I love, love, love those seats. But yeah, I think that's probably it. The seats, there's so many good things about it. And every time I think about like getting a different car or of any type, whether it's electric or gas or whatever, I'm like, but I really like this. I just like have grown to love most things about it. I love the panoramic roof, everything. Especially our daughter loves that. She's was yelling like, I see the moon today. So it's really, really fun with her to drive and everything. But yeah,
she loves the accelerations too.
She does.
So
Yeah.
She's my kid. You know?
She'll say, Mommy, go fast, Daddy, go fast. It's really fun when we have a fast car, because she always loves to tell him to go fast.
Yeah. And I see Theodore says, my wife liked the women's point of view on things. She thinks you're awesome. So there you go.
Thank you.
And Raphael says she agrees with me about piano black. That's enough for me.
Oh yeah. No, that's a hard stop for me. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't know why that keeps being a thing. Like, why not make it matte? I mean, it will still scratch a little bit, but not as bad as piano black.
And Luke says, Beth would say, I don't like the material of the wall. It should be higher quality for this price point. And mass computer needs better resolution.
Well, yeah.
I start judging everything.
I could really go on about the walls. I mean, these walls here are not just like flat. They are
the textured stuff.
Yeah, we got textured walls here. Wasn't my first choice in this house, but you know, here we go. We can just start like a love it or list it channel here, right?
Yeah, have someone come in and just redo everything for content.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Ace of Spades says, if you guys have more kids and need a 3-row or minivan, what would you go with?
Oh,
definitely no minivan for you, right?
I don't know, because I feel like a lot of my friends do have minivans. I'm not a type of a minivan gal, but I will say I did grow up with 2 sisters. So there were 5 of us in my family, and we did have a Grand Caravan, a Dodge Grand Caravan. And I drove that to school in high school. So I can rock a van, but it's not like I don't know. So I don't know. I think I would do like a Palisade or a Telluride. I really love how the Tellurides look. But yeah.
I think the Telluride's is solid. I mean, Grand Highlander is probably my new favorite.
Oh yeah, that's true. So yeah,
and now a second neighbor in our neighborhood has bought a black Grand Highlander.
Mm-hmm.
They're popping up everywhere.
Those are great. Yeah, I keep forgetting about those.
Yeah. So, but I mean, Telluride's close too, because they're so nice too, especially with the redo they did last year and stuff with the interior and all that. But let me see. So Stratus also says we need a Beth acceleration reaction.
Yeah. See, every time he used to do reviews, and I would be with him just in the passenger seat, and I would just be like quiet off to the side so no one would hear me. And there were a lot of times where he would do these reactions, and I would be like, is that for real? Are you kidding? And I would laugh at him.
Yeah, she would be laughing at me as well.
Yeah, I'm just laughing, or just like in the back, like, oh my gosh. Okay. So anyways, but yeah, I could do an acceleration, but I just feel like I'm like, yeah, I just went, I don't know.
There's been a few times where you've been like, holy crap. Like whenever like in the Hummer, I think I stomped on it in that, and maybe 1 or 2 others where you're like, whoa, that was like fast. But
yeah, there's definitely some fast ones. I really like the acceleration in the what was it? The Genesis. I liked that.
Oh, the GV60 performance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was that was
great.
Right before you got the Mach-E. You're really into that car.
Yeah, I was sad I didn't get it, but I still love my Mach-E. So
Seats are definitely softer in the Mach-E too, so I feel like it worked out better for you. And Austin says, do you miss your Mercedes?
Yeah, I love Mercedes. I would totally go back to one. I'm really, really sad because I was very highly considering the GLB, the all electric GLB. It didn't come in time, and I watched a ton of videos of people in the UK and everything that had them. And at the end of the day, I was like, "There's no way it's gonna work." I heard a ton of not great things about it. So I was happy that at the end of the day that I went with the Mach-E, but hopefully someday they'll get a little bit better because I did really, really love my Mercedes.
And we did have the EQB for a week. It was like the base front wheel drive one they sent us, which was kind of weird. And
it
was
drove
like,
really, really funny too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. Like, especially they're so expensive. Now they've discounted them and stuff, but yeah, it's for me, it's a tough sell.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just like they have to do more work on it. And at the end of the day, there's so many things that the Mach-E has that a lot of other competitors haven't even come out with yet. So I don't know.
And as Savannah says, do your neighbors ever find it perplexing to see so many new cars coming and going?
That's one thing when we first moved here, because we moved a few years ago before I gave birth to my daughter, and we had, like, when we were meeting neighbors, we were like, just so you know, like, this isn't turning into an Airbnb. Like, we get a bunch of cars like every week, and this is the neighborhood that we live in is big, so we're always meeting people, and there's a bunch of people that are like, oh my gosh, so like, what do you do? And they're always like really interested, and they're always like, oh well, like they're confused, or they watch his channel. There's been some people that like are excited about it, but I think he just, that's one thing, is we just were like, oh yeah, like this is what happens. Like, and sometimes like the neighbors will be like, oh dude, I saw you had this car, like, can I take a ride? And like he'll give them rides and stuff, and so it's fun.
Yeah, it's funny too, because like I'll meet a new neighbor and they're like, oh, you're the car guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, I always am like interested to see what you have every week and everything. And people are like, they'll be like, oh yeah, the one I told my wife last week, the one last week was ugly, but this one is much better. Like,
so great.
Like, it's like everyone has this like running thing in the neighborhood that I'm like unaware of, where they're all like commenting on what cars I have and stuff. And so Luke, thank you so much for a super chat as well. He says, I wish you had a dash cam footage of any bad drivers you see while you're in press cars. I like the stuff I saw last month, videos from a few years ago. Yeah, those just like, they never really took off, and I often don't see that much bad driving anymore because I just don't drive a ton. Mm-hmm. So it's something that, it wasn't super hard to do, but it's just like towards the end of it there, I was doing them like seasonally. I'd like do like one every quarter because I like didn't have enough footage to do stuff I saw every month. And so I guess that's good that I don't see a bunch of crazy drivers super often. I mean, I see some, but nothing that's like, oh my gosh, I got to post this on the internet. So, but I thank you for the super chat. And yeah, maybe someday if I'm driving more or I have some kind of commute or something and I see more stuff, I can get back to doing those. And Newt, thanks for joining in too. He says that's so fun. So thanks for joining us. That's Zach. So
no, I know it's Zach. I know you, Zach. Don't worry.
So thanks for joining in, Zach. And let me see other questions here for Beth. And we will get back to all the other car talk.
Yeah, sorry, well. I can leave whenever you guys want.
No, this is fun. But yeah, so anyone else, if you do have another question you've been wanting to ask that's unbeth related, we can also get into those as well, because I don't want to skip over any.
But I have nothing. I have no input on any of your questions.
But yeah, so Vishal says, Beth, would you go back to Mercedes? Okay, we covered that. Yeah. Raphael says, Beth, Matt is planning to get an Audi e-tron GT. I'm throwing him under the bus. No, I wish. I mean, they have come down in price a lot, but yeah, that's too rich for us right now. That's for sure.
You know what? If I were to get an all electric car that was different from the one that I have that was in no price range, is I just really want oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting.
Taycan.
Yeah, a Taycan. That's what I want.
And we
have a lot. There's a lot of people around here with those, and so I'm always like.
I know the Cross Turismo one would be so nice, but that is definitely a pipe dream, even with the crazy depreciation. I just looked for kicks the other day, and I think like used ones are coming down to like the 70s, which is still like hilariously out of our price range. So, but maybe someday they'll keep on depreciating. We'll see. But Let me see other questions here. Trent Car Guy says the only thing that irks me is the big screen just tacked onto the dash. And a lot
Yeah,
of
you know what? That's true. I mean, there's so many of those, and one of our friends was actually considering a Mach-E, and that's one of the things that she hated. She was like, it's just like a big iPad, and I completely agree. I think it could definitely be better placed or like more aesthetically pleasing, but at the end of the day, it hasn't necessarily bothered me too much. And that was one of the things that I wasn't super crazy about going into it, but it wasn't like a deal breaker for me at all. But
yeah,
I get it.
Linda says hi, great to see you, Beth.
Hi, Linda. I see you too.
And S.M. says the Blue Room, man, all the nostalgia stuff. Yes.
Oh, the Blue Room is now, what is it?
Like
orange,
a corally kind of orange color.
No, it's not coral. It's definitely like orange. Like, well, no, that's red up there, but it's like
it looks orange.
It's wait, this shell thing up here. This little.
You can see that. Yeah.
Up there is like it's kind of like that's technically red, but like on screen it looks orange. It's definitely like.
It is blue no more. So yes,
it's a different color.
A little bit of a history loss there for what it's worth. And Trent Carga says, my mom had several caravans. It was just my brother and myself. Maybe that's why I ended up with a wagon. There you go. Yeah, it's just a sentimental thing. Wagons are awesome. And let me see. Linda says Beth should join more often. I mean, we can certainly try and do this more often.
I don't know how much of an input I have here, but I can be here if you want. You just have to make sure the baby's asleep. So she's asleep. I'm watching her right here on her little thingy here.
Yeah. And Trent Carga says I could totally do daily content with the stupid things I see driving around here. Well, there you go. You can do your own YouTube channel, Trent Carga. Get those videos posted up and start making some money there. And before you know it, you can have a crazy Hellcat swapped Magnum, and you can be shredding tires everywhere. Dom says thanks for doing the dual stream. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it, Dom. Austin says, hey Beth, what's your favorite movie? Do you share the same taste as Matt?
Oh yeah, okay. No, I don't.
Definitely not.
I mean, I don't think. Okay, so the thing is, and this might sound strange to some, but my dad he worked in the movie business for ever since I was young, and so as a kid especially, he was constantly getting VHSs, DVDs, all of that stuff coming in. And so like of kids movies and everything. So I am the type to like watch a movie once and then like see a new one. So I like was constantly getting content. And so I don't have a ton of favorites, but the favorites that I do have are pretty girly, not too crazy. But when I did meet Matt, I have watched all the Fast and Furious movies. I have watched all the James Bond movies. I love them. I think they're super great. I don't have any complaints about anything. I'm not one to be like, oh no, I won't watch that or anything.
We're not like movie critics.
I'll definitely watch stuff. But I'm not like a super like I don't love movies. I will watch I love movies. I won't watch them like more than once in like a sitting.
This is the
like,
thing.
He will watch a movie and then watch it again in like.
I want to like
weeks.
rewatch movies every like 6 months. Like I would like this whole row of movies up there. Like if I had the time, which I don't anymore, but I used to like go through that whole stack like at least once a year.
Yeah, and for me, I'm just kind of like I'll watch it and I'll be like, okay, like I'll revisit that in 10 years. Because then if I watch it once, then I'm like, okay, well I know what's gonna happen, and I'm a very empathetic person, so I think sometimes I get like too into like the depressiveness of a movie, or like I get too like attached emotionally, and then it's just hard for me. Yeah, it is a big commitment.
You're more into TV shows.
Yeah, I'll watch a lot of TV shows, but I do. I mean, I don't know.
I can guess your favorite movies.
Yeah, you can, but they're like kids movies.
No, they're just girly movies. I mean.
Okay.
Should I out you with your movies?
Well, my favorite movie is Lindsay Lohan's Parent Trap. I love that. I love Princess Diaries. I don't know.
Princess Bride.
Right? Princess Bride. Yeah, I do love that. A lot of stuff. I was big into Lord of the Rings. That was really cool.
Which I haven't been able to watch.
I read Lord of the Rings. I love Harry Potter. Like, I love all of that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, those are the main ones. We had a couple of super chats come in though, so let's.
So sorry, everyone, if I'm disappointing you.
Yeah, everyone is hoping that like.
Oh man,
Gone in 60 Seconds would be your favorite movie.
You know, I watched Bullet on repeat when I was 5. So no,
yep, just me. But Louis, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I'm thinking about getting a Scat Pack or a Golf R as the next car. Which one would you pick? That's really polar opposite cars.
Yeah, different.
Very different.
It just depends, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've obviously done reviews on both, so I give kind of, you know, some extra insight in those videos as far as what I think about each of them. But it's really going to come down to, you know, do you need all-weather capability? Obviously, that'll sway you towards the Golf R. If you know, how do you feel about rear-wheel drive? You know, do you want to do burnouts everywhere you go? Because the Scat Pack will do that. Like, you have to, like, you breathe on the gas pedal in a Scat Pack and it's instant spin. Golf R, obviously, perfect traction all the time. It's smaller. It's a lot more low profile. Scat Pack kind of really carries its own personality with it and its own community. And, you know, I think that's a little bit more of a bolder community than the Golf R community.
The comments down below.
So I think that's, you know, the way to go if you want to have something bolder. Golf R is definitely the low profile choice. The really, like, I couldn't think of two cars that are more polar opposite in a lot of ways, but I know that's how a lot of people, they do cross shop stuff that is really diverse a lot of times. And so they all have their pros and cons. Definitely check out the videos if you haven't already to hear all my thoughts on those both. Which one would I pick? If you're asking my own personal opinion, my own biases and stuff, I think Golf R probably suits my personality now. Scat Pack is fun. Scat Pack is like going to Vegas for a weekend. Scat Pack, it's you know, like, it's a really fun time, but it's one of those things that after a while, you might not be extroverted enough to like be able to just live with that all the time. That's going to come down to your personality. Me,
is it big too? Is it just me?
It is big. Yeah, I mean, it's a big sedan. So I mean, I think you know, there's just some personality stuff there. So if that's your personality, by all means, go for it. I love it. I have a laugh every time I drive one. But I think Golf R would probably suit me better.
So we'll go with the what?
Instead of okay. Okay, well, yeah, thanks. I'm glad the videos helped you. And Mark says, ideally, a Scat Pack wide body, good daily. Yeah, I mean, super comfy. They're great road trippers. And yeah, I see the Trent Garger says, considering a Scat motor for his swap, that would be a lot of fun. And also, Jorge, thank you so much for a super chat. He says, if Pittsburgh was playing now instead of the Bills, would this live stream be at another time? Nope, we don't watch football whatsoever. So,
hey, I mean, I love the Steelers. I would watch a game. I grew up watching football, so
me too.
I'm fine with watching it, but I don't like seek out.
Yeah,
sports.
But we're not on the edge of our seats. Like I have no clue what the Steelers
record is. If they went to the Super Bowl,
is.
I was saying if they went to the Super Bowl, that would be fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll still watch the Super Bowl because 99% of the time I enjoy the.
Oh yeah, the commercials are great.
Well, I wasn't gonna say the commercials, but he was say the commercials. He'll watch just for the commercials, but I like watching halftime. It just depends who.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, whatever.
So hopefully this live stream doesn't conflict with the game. I thought the game started at 6:30, but I guess
I don't know. Something I just saw Jason Kelsey was like jumping out of something, but that might have been another time.
Yeah. See, we're completely out of the loop on football. So
I'm not.
You're not. I am. I'll speak for myself. Hugo, thank you so much for the super chat as well. I says, hello, both of you. From Kira and myself. Question for Beth. When will you be reviewing the Bullet? Matt should teach you how to drive manual.
Okay, well, I will. I am
very
alcohol
around here.
I'm very sorry to tell you that I'm not allowed to touch that car with a 10-foot pole in the driving. No,
as far as driving.
In the driver's seat, yes. Okay. He will not let me touch it. He doesn't want me to grind the gears. He doesn't want me to screw up his precious baby. So sorry.
She knows.
Disappoint
you. Know how to drive.
I know how to drive a manual, just barely. I think I can. I could definitely get it up and running, but he would probably
die inside.
He would die inside, and then I would die in person. So
it's yeah. I mean, I am so protective of the Bullet. Like my mechanic buddy who like did the oil changes, like he's driven it. I've had a couple other mechanics that have had to drive it just to like do stuff when I didn't have a choice. And I'm trying to think of anyone else that's ever driven it.
Someone apparently may have taken it for a joyride when he was getting.
Oh, I talked about that in the live stream a while back.
What was it? The oil change or something?
I was getting the state inspection, and yeah, they. I don't know if they actually did or not. Because they unplugged the dash. Because they unplugged the dash cam.
The dash cam. You don't do that. Yeah, but apparently it's okay. But
no, it's not okay.
No shame. I don't know.
No, it's not okay to unplug that. But yeah. So. Yeah, but as far as we have been saying thank you for the hearts, everyone, by the way. But
I love you too.
Yeah, I think we were talking just the other day about like it'd be fun to do like a how to drive manual kind of video. Sorry, did someone else?
Someone comment? Yeah, I'm just reading. Sorry, everyone.
Austin's trying to stir the pot here. Yeah, so. I think we would like to do a manual driving video. I would just have to either get prior consent for a press car that's manual to like, hey, do you guys mind if we like have someone who's not amazing with a manual learn to drive manual, who knows how to drive it, but might not be the smoothest with the clutch, and
well, I said I could do it. I said I would be up for doing a video.
Yeah, so that is something.
Said no.
No, I think that would be a very good video. I know a lot of you would probably enjoy that as well. So I have seen all the little reactions. So yes, that could be something. That's something that we have talked about recently, and we're going to try and work on maybe having that.
We'll see. We need a babysitter.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's not too hard to do, but all right, so let me get back.
Someone asked earlier if we were drinking wine, and that is no, we're not. I also did have a drink at dinner, but that was like 4 hours ago.
Yeah, so probably not doing anything right now.
No, it didn't do anything at all to me, so it might have not even been spiked. So.
Gaga says, I'm sure we could go on a 30-minute tangent about the Fast and Furious movies. And Raphael says that the two of you haven't watched the first Star Wars breaks my heart. I have seen
You've
seen it. I haven't, but yeah, she has.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I love Star Wars, but I'm not a Trekkie.
He said, I was a 7-year-old in line when it first came out.
Oh, that's really cool.
Saw it over 180 times in the theater.
What?
Wow. That's impressive. That might be a record. You should call up Guinness and see if that is a potential record. That is impressive.
That's crazy. That's really cool.
Let me see. So other questions here. Oh, Jonah, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, when and how did you both learn to drive stick? That's a cool question.
Well, my dad had, I'm not sure, but he had a Forester with a stick, and he taught me
second gen.
Yeah, he taught me how to drive on that. Or he taught me how to drive stick on that. But I already knew how to obviously drive. So he taught me how to drive stick on that, but it was just a couple times. So that was that. It wasn't anything crazy or like I can't say that I could like go behind the bullet right now and like get everything done. But if you put me on Amazing Race, I would fail.
You wouldn't be able to do it?
I would fail. I mean, I could do it, but I would be like one of those ones that's like Amazing Race.
Like going jerky and like
Amazing Race is like one of my favorites. I would go on Amazing Race, but I couldn't. But I would do it, but I couldn't. So
yeah, you and your dad would be awesome on there. It'd be so cool.
That would be fun.
And so as far as how I learned to drive stick when I used to work at the Swickley car store, which is the first my second job technically, and 16 years old. It's like, as soon as I got my driver's license, I basically applied there, and they had a bunch of beat up old work trucks. There was a Mazda B2000 or something from like the late 80s. That thing was so beat up, and so that was a very good first car to learn manual. And there was also a really beat up Dodge Dakota that you didn't even need to use the clutch on it because it was so messed up. So those were the first two cars I learned to drive stick on. And then like once I like had the basics down on that, then I had to like drive brand new like Porsche 997 911s back and forth from the dealership after being like 16 going on 17, just learning how to drive manual. And then I'm throwing
really hit that one on the head.
Straight into 911s. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah.
What?
No, the song.
What song?
From Sound of Music.
What is it?
16 going on 17.
Oh, yeah,
okay. Well, I
wasn't trying to do that,
but it's fine. I just,
There you go. So yeah, but fun question, Jenna. Thanks for asking and for the super chat. And where's the questions I was seeing? So Austin says, "Hey Beth, what are your thoughts on Doug DeMuro?" And we don't have to
I don't.
we don't have to
Okay,
get too into the weeds here, but
he's about Doug DeMuro. I don't really know too much about him. I'm gonna be completely honest, and I'm just gonna say, I don't know. Have I seen his videos? No. Is he like recommended to me? Also no. Do I watch a lot of car content? Also no. The only content that I do sometimes watch is Matt's videos, but I'm here, so
you see
I
it
always
all
see
live.
him.
Yeah.
I see it happening all the time.
Yeah.
So to your question, I don't really have any kind of information on him or anything. I just know that he's very large and I don't know, very opinionated, I guess. So that's all I got for you.
We'll just leave that one.
Sorry.
We've already in the past gone into some little tangents on that, so we'll leave that one.
No, but that's all I.
But yeah, no, you're good. Yeah. I mean, I've probably ranted to you a few times, but that's probably the extent of it. And I'm sure a lot of you're like, yeah, it's that's the end of it. But yeah, did you have?
No,
and Ace says Miata would be a great manual review. That would be a good one. Yeah, we will see. I'm probably gonna get it.
And it's small. I'm good in smaller cars, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think we'll be getting the 2024 here since they're doing a refresh. So maybe I will actually talk to Mazda this week whenever I see them and see about how they would feel about something like that. I think that'd be cool because I think especially Mazda would love to have more people in manuals. So they might want to support the cause there. If there are more questions that I'm missing.
No.
What? You're laughing at something.
No, just
go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. Dan says Doug gets 8 to 10 things wrong in every one of his videos.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah. I mean, so actually,
I don't know.
I will slightly defend Doug here, which I never thought I'd say. The one thing about doing car reviews, especially when you're doing stuff that is, if you're doing a lot of cars or if you're doing
a drink.
Okay, yeah, she'll be back. When you're doing a lot of different cars all the time, it is really hard to be an expert about every single thing. And there'll be times where like I just reviewed the Genesis Coupe from 2013. Now, I looked at a few reviews from 10 years ago on that car. I, do as much research as I can conceivably do in the amount of time I have, which isn't a lot. And I try and get to be as much of an expert as I can, but I still always have owners of that car. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about.
It's water, everyone. It's water.
No alcohol still. Although we can always, I got those beers downstairs.
I don't drink beer. So.
So that's the reaction for beer for her. So it is really hard to be an expert. So I could actually give Doug a pass for that. I mean, getting things wrong, if you are honestly trying to do the best job possible, every once in a while, you'll still get something that falls through the cracks and you'll get something wrong. And that's and there's actually been some discussion within car reviewers where they're actually talking about like deliberately leaving in mistakes and realizing they made a mistake, but leaving it in because it's better for the engagement, because if everyone has to go and correct them in the comments, that boosts up the algorithm. Very clever. So sometimes when you see mistakes, they might not always be accidental mistakes. They might just be intentional mistakes. Not like that's like a thing that everyone really leans on that much, but every once in a while, I'll be like, yeah, there was a mistake, but I left it in there because it might do comments, a little bit better or whatever. So, it's all kinds of stuff. People are trying to find ways to, get ahead any way they can. But anyway, and Hugo says Beth can learn in my BMW Z3.
That's also small.
I mean, yeah, that'd be great. I'm excited to hopefully review your car, Hugo, here later sometime this spring. Hopefully, we'll see. Truck car guy says my manual car needs some work first. Well, I mean, as long as it's drivable, maybe just leave the work for after. We do the video.
I don't want to ruin anyone's car.
I'm kidding. Yeah, we'll do it in a press car or some other thing. We don't have to feel bad about beating up on it.
Listen, I don't think I would be that bad. I feel like I'm a really good driver, to be honest. But like, I'm not trying to be like, oh my.
It's just and I will say, I mean, this is just a general statement, not about you or anybody, but just like, if you don't drive a manual transmission every single day, you're going to get rusty at it. I get in the Bullet, and there's sometimes when I'm in the Bullet and I've been either in another manual car, so my muscle memory for my clutch is bad, or it's just been months since I drove the Bullet, and the first few times I start off from a stop sign in the neighborhood, or I'm driving like an idiot that's just got his license, and it's because, you know, it's just one of those things you have to do it every day to be really good at it, in my opinion.
Shots fired, everyone who doesn't do this every day.
Well, it's just, I mean, and maybe that's just me, but it seems like that's a thing I've observed. And let me see. Austin says, "Hey Beth, how much input do you have on channel content? Do you have any ideas for new things for Matt to try out?"
0. Anytime I give him ideas, he's like, no, and no, you suck.
No, I do not. Jeez, she's really taking full advantage here. No, I mean, we talk about it a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the people that have more ideas for him are like everybody else. I feel like kind of bad giving him any kind of ideas because he's very set in like the things that he does, and I don't want to like throw him off and stuff. So
I mean, that's definitely a fault though as well, because I mean, I don't want to be too complacent or too, you know,
not in a bad way. He's not mad at me, but
yeah, no, I mean, but there's other things we talk about where it's, you know, like a lot of the insight, for example, like I think you're actually the one, or one of the people that was also talking to me recently about how like there's other people that do live streams and they clip the live streams. And we talked about this in last week's live stream, and have little highlights. And like some of the non-car content creators that she watches, they will do that. And I mean, I think there's also some people in the comments suggested that in prior videos as well, but that's something we talked about as well. So I think you had some input there of like, and so I think,
thank you. You're defending me. I'm fine.
No, but I think that's seriously though. Like, there's been some things where like I don't watch stuff outside of car content, so I have no clue what's going on YouTube and the greater, you know, sphere of everything else in YouTube. And you have a better sense of the pulse of what's going on YouTube, I feel like, than I do actually. Yeah. So there'll be sometimes I'll be like, is this just like car YouTube, or is this something that like you're seeing on your, you know, end of YouTube? And like, I think there's some things to be learned from non-car YouTubers that I could incorporate to freshen things up and do things differently than other car YouTubers who are also just in like car YouTube mindset, and that's it. And so I think like, you know, clipping the live streams, I don't think anyone else in the car world is doing that. And it's an easy way to, you know, bump content and, you know, have daily uploads and things like that. So I think like that's an example of I see Raphael's comment. Is that what you're laughing at?
Yeah.
You have a can of vodka. That'd be more fun.
Yeah, I'm just also I don't like vodka. So. I like rum. The drink I had tonight was rum, but nobody else at dinner had a drink. So Mac got a beer. So it made me feel a little bit better. But nobody.
Yeah,
we
went out. Big dinner.
Yeah, it was a big dinner. Something is happening tomorrow. But
do you want to say?
Yeah, we don't have to.
You can.
But it's your call.
I don't care.
This is your stream.
Well, no, it's her birthday tomorrow, so that's why we went to dinner. So that was I mean a big group, and yeah, so had a yummy dinner, and yeah, it's been a fun little celebration.
So I did get a drink, but nobody else did, and I was like, whatever. But
yeah, it's never fun to drink alone. I see everyone's giving you the little celebration reaction there, so there you go. And let me see other member questions here. The Truck and Car Guy says, I learned to drive stick in an 01 Hyundai Accent back when they were known for being cheap cars. Yeah, I mean, it's a solid little car as well. Kyle, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships as well. Really appreciate it, and glad to see everyone's able to snatch those up there as well. And I'm sure they're all very appreciative as well. And let me see other member questions. So Trent Gargas says the problem is that it's overheating since the radiator fans don't work. So as long as it's moving, it's fine. Well, there you go. So don't hit any traffic, but hopefully you can fix it soon. You don't have to worry about that. What? Car Stack Wood says, Kelly the Car Mom posted a silent review of different cars, and it was scary. Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I've never seen her stuff.
I haven't seen her stuff either, I don't think.
And
I don't know.
This is an interesting question. Brett says, what is her favorite car that you've brought home?
I don't know. You know what? I think I don't know. There's been so many, so it's just kind of like
all a blur.
I don't know. And you've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
What?
You really like the EQS SUV I had not too long ago.
Oh, I did like that, but I didn't like the drivability of that.
Oh, yeah, the brakes were
weird. Was terrible.
Yeah.
I drove it and I couldn't. Yeah, that was not great. Yeah. Not great at all. It looks great, but it does not drive great. You could like press on the brake, and it was like you just would slide instead of like actually brake until you like.
Yeah, that was weird in that car.
Like, yeah, it was very interesting. But anyways,
trying to think. I feel like there's got to be like one or two standouts.
I really like. I really liked the Infinity, or no, not the Infinity. I'm sorry. Gosh, I don't know.
The Genesis.
Yeah, I did like the Genesis. I don't know why I always get those confused, but
yeah,
I did like the Genesis. I like most of the Genesis. I think they're really nice.
Yeah, they're so impressive with everything they do. Let me see other member questions.
Thank
here.
you, everyone, for your birthday wishes. That's really sweet.
Yeah, and Raphael says, "Yeah, happy birthday." She needs to pop in more. Obviously, we're having a blast. I'm glad everyone's enjoying it as well. And
yeah, I mean, I don't have to like screw up this whole stream because I feel like you guys always talk cars, and now I'm just like,
no,
bringing in like all my.
Well,
drama.
I'm sure, especially so many of you watch every week, and I'm sure it's nice to have a little bit of variety and switch from the norm a little bit every once in a while too. Let me see. And Trent Garguy says, I live in Arizona. There's always traffic. Yeah, rush hour starts around 3 p.m. and goes until 7.
Ugh.
It's bumper to bumper, man. That's rough. That is definitely no fun.
Not good with a stick either.
Yeah, that would be rough with a stick. This is why, certain people, I'm like, I totally get it if you don't want a manual. It's fun, but it's not fun in traffic. Dan says, I'm finding you almost have to do some live streaming to continue growth on YouTube now. I hate it, but we have to, I suppose. I mean, I love doing these. This is like so fun for me. It's like hanging out, with a bunch of, car friends. That's what we are here. And it's just, I love doing it. It is funny though. YouTube's really like, they are pushing it harder. I even got a little pop-up today on my YouTube, like dashboard thing for when you're a creator. They have like a whole like dashboard page for you. And they're like, you could like boost your views and your earnings if you did 2 live streams a week. It's like one isn't even good enough. Like it's got to be more than one. And they're like always trying to do more and more. And it's like, I'm only one person. I leave so much time. And it's, but it's so funny how YouTube always wants to demand more and like move the goalposts. And again, it's, it's not like this is, a lot. It's just the easiest thing I do all week is hang out and just chatting and not having to edit or film or anything like that. So I love doing these. And if I could just do live streams exclusively, that would be an enormous upgrade from a work-life standpoint. But it's just, I think with the live streams though, it's, it's just tough from a search standpoint. It's tough from like actual subscribers. Very few people click in and watch 2-hour-long videos. And, so that's why clipping them, I think, is really going to help everyone else see how fun these live streams are and hopefully boost these down the road. But it's,
They are definitely fun. But I will say one thing that I hate about this job for him is that he works nonstop and it's very hard to get time with him. So hopefully someday he can post.
I can take my foot off the gas.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Let me see here. A few more member questions come in. So Austin says, hey Beth, what was your favorite movie extra appearance other than the one where you and Matt met, of course?
So I did a couple of extra things. I did one when I was in high school and they actually filmed at my high school and that was pretty fun. It was like I think that was the first one I ever did. The second one I did,
what movie was that one?
The first one, I think it was called The Homecoming, and it had somebody that was like famous at the time in it, but I don't think filmed at the high school. I think she just filmed at some place in California or something that made it look like it was like near there. But the second one I did, I actually got a decent amount of screen time, which was funny. And that was like a really cool experience. And I was in I Am Number 4, and that had Alex Pettifer and like a couple of other people at the time.
Diana Agron.
Oh yeah, I met her. I met Alex because I was like next to them in a bunch of scenes, and so that was really fun. I think that might have been the most fun, but I think the cool, and this is all coming back to me. I don't think about this very often, but the one that I was in, what's that? What was the one called with Matt Damon? What's that one called? I don't know, but I was in one, and it was.
If you say the cast, I think people could probably IMDb it really quickly. I can't remember.
No, because I have IMDb, but what? Wait.
That is definitely, I think, in my opinion, is your coolest experience.
Okay, and I can tell you about it.
So yeah, that one is definitely.
Okay, here it is.
That's it. Yeah.
What is it? Oh, it was called Promised Land. That was also like I really liked being in that one. I like actually started that one scene because they like roll the cameras and then they're like action and they were like action Beth and they like made me start the whole thing. But Matt Damon was in that, John Krasinski was in that. And I met both of them. I think the coolest thing about the funniest thing was that like I wasn't like a huge fan of Matt Damon or anything, but everyone, like all of the cast and crew were, or all of the crew were like, okay, everyone, like telling us extras, they were like, okay, everyone, Matt's coming in, you know, don't be weird. And there were a bunch of like 30, like 40 something women behind me. They basically we were in like a restaurant scene and I was playing like a hostess. So I was like just taking like people to their seats, or taking them to their tables, I guess. And, so I like started off the scene and I was taking a group of like women to their tables and it was like a ladies brunch or something. And they were like, he was coming in behind us and he was supposed to be all pissed and stuff. And he came in before we started filming and the ladies were like, oh my God, it's Matt Damon. They're like, have you seen him? Did you see him yet? He's coming in soon. And I was like, okay, I'm sure he's fine. Like, and he was like, hey guys. He actually spoke to me because I wasn't like, oh my God, it's Matt Damon. I'm dying. But they were all freaking out. So that was kind of funny. And I think the thing that got me the most excited was John Krasinski came in and I knew him more obviously from seeing The Office. And it's not that I didn't know Matt Damon. I just like didn't watch a ton of Matt Damon movies at the time. And so obviously he was huge and I was like, this is cool, Matt Damon. But like John Krasinski, I was like, this is really cool, John Krasinski. But the coolest thing was he wasn't filming that day. So he came in and he was just like hanging out. And so like I got to talk to him a little bit. He was really nice. And he brought Emily Blunt, which I love Emily Blunt. Actually, that's another movie I love is Devil Wears Prada. Devil Wears Prada is definitely like one of my top high movies I love. I guess honestly I love Anne Hathaway. So there you go. She's in a lot of stuff I love. But yeah, so I think that was really cool. Yeah.
Did Emily talk to you? I can't remember.
No, she didn't talk to me because she just came and they were about to go out to lunch, her and John. But like they were like off to the side and I like heard some British person talking and I was like, oh my God, that's Emily Blunt. I didn't know, but I wasn't.
So you were that.
No, see, listen, I was not fawning like the other people were. I was like, oh my God, that's so nice. She's really nice. And then I like kept walking because I like couldn't, like I was leaving or something, but I was like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah,
I'm actually in the same room as her. Yeah.
I'm jealous of your John Krasinski experience. That's pretty
sweet.
I
do. Yeah, that was really cool. But if he saw me, he wouldn't know who I was. So I don't care.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And Trent Carger, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships as well. I really appreciate that. And glad everyone's able to grab those here. And let me see. So also SOMD is asking, what's your dream car?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, Bentayga. I would get a Bentley Bentayga.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's probably dumb, but like I just like my name is Beth, so I want a car with a B.
The flying bee on the
hood. Actually, my full name's Elizabeth, but I have never gone by that name. So
yeah, there you go. Fun little fact.
My mom said if I was ever like a newscaster or something, like that would be my name, Elizabeth. So because it's more like proper than Beth. So
yeah. And Ace says, I love the live streams. I'm glad you enjoy them, Ace. And Brett says, where gas prices where you and Beth are at? It's $5.49 for premium where I live. Man,
I'm
honestly,
very sorry. I plug my car in.
yeah, and
Sorry.
and as a result, like I never honestly even look at gas prices that often. So like, because I fill a bullet up like once every like few months. So I honestly
He
couldn't
just
tell
doesn't
you.
drive it.
I never fill up the press cars because they always come with a full
I
tank
asked
of
my
gas.
dad.
Yeah, no, I mean I could Google and see what it is around the corner or whatever, but like I think it's in the mid threes. But yes, sorry, not the people to ask about gas prices. Unfortunately, I know that like everyone probably pays attention to gas prices except for us, but just not something that ever enters my mind, to be totally honest. Unless I'm talking about fuel economy in cars, but even then, I just talk about how they're comparing and not how much you are actually paying at that moment in time for a fill up. So, yeah. And Raphael says, as much as I love manuals, my commute is an hour and 20 minutes each way, and
Ugh,
that's just not fun with a manual. Totally,
definitely
get
not.
it. And Cars Tech Wood said, I bet parking the Mach-E in the garage really helps in these cold temps. Definitely.
I love having a garage. I used to not have a garage, and now I have a garage.
Yeah, it
It's
used to
great.
be that the Mustang was the only one that got the garage space in our old house with one car garage, and now we have two, so you don't have to be out in the cold there. I always felt so bad. I usually would try and clean off your car whenever it was out in the cold, but there are sometimes where you had to still do it, and it's not fun. And Ace says, maybe you could do one.
My dad said it's $3.53 today.
There you go. There's the gas price. And Ace says maybe you could do one car review every 2 weeks and 2 live streams to break it up. Might help to break up the workload. I would love to do that. It's just, again, like I don't get enough views after the fact on the live streams to make that sustain the channel. You know, the big thing with my channel that's kept me going this long is the sustainability of the fact that I post a car review and whatever views it gets in the first week, like that's fine, but like that's not the focus. The focus is their searchable videos so that someone 10 years from now that's shopping for a 2023 Palisade, they can find that video in 10 years and I'm still getting a tiny bit of money every single time someone watches that. So all the stuff I've reviewed for the past 11 or 12 years now, there is still someone who's looking up a 2010 Camaro that I reviewed 10 years ago and watching that video, and I make a tiny little bit every single time. And so whereas the live streams, I guess it's my own fault for not titling them more excitingly, but they just don't age very well. They get outdated because if people are just going to watch the most recent one to ask their questions and stuff. I mean, these are interesting to watch after the fact, but it doesn't sustain a channel super well, I think. I mean, it could, I guess. Just the way that I've built my channel, it would just be a huge switch, and I would worry about that base of views eroded. What?
Can I bring in a cat? Because
If you want the cat, we're going to have one of our cats come in. I think we showed our cats a long time ago, possibly. Now the cats are immediately regretting trying to come in. Okay, so here is Daisy. She's one of our 2 Maine Coons that we have, and she's almost 9 right now, right?
Yeah, she's almost 9. Ta-da!
Yep.
She's our big girl.
Yep. And since they're girls, though, they're not quite as big as the boy Maine Coons. Anyone who's familiar with Maine Coons. Big. But she's still, I think she's what, like 15 pounds?
Oh, no, they were 12 and a half,
12
like
and
a
a half,
couple of years
okay.
ago. So she's like 12, 13 pounds.
Yeah. But, yep.
Yeah, by days, she's like wondering why we were both in here, because normally they get to cuddle with me when he's not working or when he's doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Tom, thank you so much for a super chat. He says, hey, Matt, if you have a choice of making any one unreliable car reliable, which would it be? That's an interesting question.
I can't answer that question.
Yeah. Let me see. I mean, I guess it would just be a car that I really want to see be good. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, a Jaguar F-Type isn't super reliable from what I've seen. I don't think it's horrendous, but I would say I wish that like the F-Type was as solid as like a Lexus LC as far as reliability goes. So I'd say if I could make one car reliable, it would be an F-Type. That would be it, because I still adore the F-Type, but as they get older, I get more and more scared of owning one someday. You can yawn on camera. Okay. But I think that'd be the pick for sure. Thank you so much, Tom, for the super chat. And let me see other questions here. Guard's asking, will you get to go to the new GX 550 press event? Yes, I will be going to that here this week here. So stay tuned for my GX impressions the following week, not this coming week, but the week after that. And Tom, thank you so much for another super chat. He says, are Maine Coon cats more mellow than other cats?
Yes. Yeah, I think they're like insanely chill.
they kind of act like dogs in like
Yeah,
some ways.
I mean, like I'm sure a lot of people say that too, but they're definitely like super chill. If you come to our house, they'll come and say hi to you. Like they are not scared and not afraid.
Very sociable.
Yeah, our one is a little bit more timid than the other, but she'll still like hang around. So yeah. They're super nice, super chill, really good with kids. We love them. I love them. Matt does not like animals, but
oh well, that's not true. I like,
he tolerates them.
I'm not a super pet person, which I mean that's gonna probably make me very unpopular with a lot of people.
He just didn't grow up with animals, but I did.
I had a cat whenever I was younger, but yeah, and maybe it's just because I'm so busy and I have so many other things like going on that it's just like I just don't want to be bothered
He's over
with the
it
extra
quick.
stuff. They're fun. It's kind of like how some people probably view kids, where they're like, I like having other people have them, and then me going home and not having to worry about it, and like you know. So I won't go down the pet rabbit hole, which is a funny little conundrum there. But yeah, I mean it's. Yeah, I think it's.
Oh man, I put him in a corner here.
Yeah, you did put me in a corner there, but yeah, I'm just not. They're just, especially. Yeah, I mean, I love.
But they are more mellow. I will say that.
Yeah,
I love them. Our child loves them. 99% of the people we are around loves them. I think Matt does love them and deep down in his heart. But if he had to take care of them, he would just be like.
Well, I do like
my way.
I do the litter boxes.
And that's only I used to do that. It's just because I got pregnant and I couldn't do it because of toxoplasmosis, which is a thing. But because I just couldn't be.
And then I just kept doing it after.
Yes.
After that,
and then now he's complaining, but he did say that he would do it because I do 99% of the other stuff.
Yeah, you got a lot. You got a lot on your plate for sure, and so we try and be partners for sure. But yeah, and I'm trying to like add more to that, but yeah,
he's trying to make it good. But
no, it's just it's a lot of work. I mean, animals are a lot of work, and it's something that I don't have a desire to add more work to my life. I have so much work already that like the idea of like people tell us like, oh, get a dog, and it's like great. Then I gotta walk it, and then I have to pick up the crap in the yard, and then I have to like take it to the vet. I have to do all these things.
I love all animals, but I would 99% of the time always have cats. I love dogs. But cats are chill, relaxed. You just have to feed them, clean their litter box, and they're good.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot less work. Yeah. But I think if I wasn't so overworked and I had like time for like hobbies and like time to just like mess around and just be like, oh, I'm bored, let me play with a dog, like I could see there being some extra appeal there. Or if you're someone who again doesn't have a million people in their life or something, and that's good companionship that you have always right there. I get the unconditional love. I have
that. Matt travels a lot, so I get the cats.
And that's one of the reasons why. I mean, the cats are great, and I think that's been certainly something.
They cuddle with me all the time,
especially before we had our daughter. That was So I totally, the cats are great for me. I totally see the appeal. Just. For me and
he used to be better with them. I think just like he's worked so much that he's just like out of my way. Leave me alone.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah,
so sounds like my dad.
hopefully nobody hates me too much after that one.
He doesn't hate them. It's just that he just wouldn't. If he was up. Like if someone was like, here, have an animal, he'd be like, no thanks. Yeah. I'm good. Like Larry David.
Yeah.
Just like. Nah.
Like no. Yeah, I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. So Larry David.
There's one show Matt will watch is that.
Larry David. I mean, I like a lot of TV shows, but Larry David is definitely my spirit animal in some ways. So it's definitely fun.
My dad asked if you want rabbits for a pet.
Nope.
He's watching. Yeah. My dad.
No rabbits. That's also work. So yes.
Oh, two. What up? Thanks for the super chat.
Yeah, thanks for the super chat. OMG, Beth is here. The basement rejoices. It's clean. Matt, stop calling us basement residents.
The basement. I've been down there forever. He
just
locked me in there.
Stop calling us basement residents cats. Good one too. And two just sent me on Instagram. He just saw his first a Cybertruck today. I still have yet to see a Cybertruck, but he saw one of those. What are your thoughts on the Cybertrucks?
I think they look really, 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 really dumb. I don't know what else
I'm right there with you.
I just think they look dumb.
Yeah.
I just feel like you could like kind of roll them, but like they don't roll. But then it's just like, I don't know.
Like it looks like it could roll.
No, like it's just like trying to roll it just looks. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like you need to roll it. I don't know.
All right, there you go. Let me see. Other questions. KJ says, "Hey Matt and Beth, I've been watching the channel for years and have to brag. I just got my 2024 Orange Z06 yesterday. It's unbelievable.
Nice.
I'm not sure how I'm going to last the Canadian winter.
You can do it.
Yep, it'll be worth the wait because man, I'm very jealous. Congrats, that is awesome.
Well, don't you have to have your break-in period too? So like it's fine.
Yeah, if you're not opposed to putting some miles on with the salt and stuff and snow.
Oh right, I don't know.
Down there. But man, yeah, that was my favorite car. As you probably saw if you saw the end of the year video. Favorite press car last year was the Z06. What an amazing car! You're very fortunate to be able to buy one for yourself and enjoy that car to the fullest. 100%. One of the few cars. If I had to give up a Bullet and someone was like, here's an even trade for a Z06, I would do that trade. And I wouldn't give up the Bullet for a lot of really expensive cars. There'd be a lot of cars that I would turn down that are way nicer and more expensive that I wouldn't have because I'd rather have the Bullet. But that is one that I would take for sure. They're amazing. And so I hope you really enjoy it. Huge congrats. SLMD says, you heard it, Matt. Bentley Bentayga. That's the goal. We buy the lottery tickets, and that's the only way we'll ever get there, I think. But we'll see what happens. Kenny, thank you so much for your 10th super here on the channel. He says, do you think a 900 horsepower Pro-Charged 6.6 liter 2013 Raptor would make for a good YouTube channel truck? Absolutely. Sounds like something that people would love to see. Fast, loud, wild trucks. That's a good basis for a channel. Just find a way to start doing videos if you have the time and the interest in it. And I think anyone starting a YouTube channel is great. What?
I'm sorry.
You saw another comment?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just gotta give you time.
Yeah, you're good. No, I mean, so yeah, I think that would be great. I think anyone should start a YouTube channel if you want to show off the cool stuff you got. Never hurts. There's literally zero risk and only reward. I mean, obviously you can get sucked in from a time standpoint, but if you got time to burn,
do it for fun.
Do it for fun.
Exactly. Don't do it for, anything other than fun.
It can be a fun side thing.
If it turns into something more, then it turns into something more. But I think always do things for fun if you have the means to do so. Yeah.
What was the comment that got you to gasp?
Yeah, Austin.
I just read that if you don't clean off bird poop, the Cybertruck panels will corrode. Interesting. I mean, I have to look back to DeLoreans, because DeLoreans were stainless steel too, and I don't remember any kind of finish issues with those. I know they didn't seem to rust from what I've seen, but I have no clue if it's a different process with the Cybertruck or what. Michelle says the regulars and the high twos here. Sean says, any news on a 2024 Kona N? Haven't heard anything at all, Sean. I hope they do one, but I'm thinking they won't, but haven't heard anything new. Bradley says Devil Wears Prada is my ultimate favorite movie. Oh
yeah,
there you go.
I hope you're not joking, because I love it. I really do.
Let me see. Trent Carcass is floating around 350 here, and the wagon has a 16-gallon tank. That's definitely not cheap. Austin says, hey, Beth, if you were to start your own YouTube channel, what kind of content would it be on?
Well, I did have a YouTube channel for a hot sec. Well, I think it's still up, but I did I was trying to do ASMR stuff because I love ASMR. I deal with a lot of anxiety. So I love watching ASMR videos, because that's always helped, calm me down and help me relax and stuff. So I think that could be super fun to do. But I don't really have any a ton of interests or hobbies. I love to run. But maybe not in the way that a lot of people I like to run on the treadmill, and a lot of people don't like to do that. But it just, I think it would be something ASMR, because I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Maybe once you have some more time when the kids in school,
when I'm not dealing with a toddler running around 24/7, maybe I would do that.
Let me see. Raphael says, I actually don't notice the gas prices. I fill up every Sunday morning at the same place, drive up, fill it up, and look at how much the total was. There you go. Troy Cargan says the cat is camera shy.
Yeah, that's true. She's like, I'm out of here. I didn't realize I was getting pushed into this.
And Kurrier says, Matt, I got an F-Type R after reviews by you and others. Well, I'm glad the reviews helped, and congrats on your F-Type. That's got to be, yes, I am jealous. That's got to be so much fun too. So congrats to you, and I hope you're enjoying it. I hope it's treating you well, hasn't given you too many issues, hopefully. I'll be curious if you had any issues, though. I'd love to hear more on your ownership experience there, but hopefully it's been treated you well. I see B. Doyle says thoughts on Z4 M40i. We actually had that was the first question on the live stream here as well. Someone else asked. I love it. I mean, it's basically a convertible Supra in my mind with a slightly nicer interior. I think they're great. Carstech Wood said, don't get a dog when you have a kid.
Yes. There's so many, I've seen a lot of people who have a baby and then get the baby a puppy, and I'm just like, I don't know how you're doing that, because like
a lot of work.
Because our his sister got a dog like right around the time when our baby was like 1, and it was just like so many of the same
like
things
protecting the baby and like
well no just but I was
dog.
like, I don't know how we could do that together.
And thank you so much too for another super chat. He says, Queen Beth, can we please get rid of the karate chop guy? He yells at Doug. Read the some say below. So I guess he's gonna do a some say thing, a Jeremy Clarkson thing. We'll see here. You grab another question until that comes in. I was like, okay, thank you for helping me keep track of where I'm at here, because usually I get lost in the comments. So Trent Gargas says, I grew up around various animals from cats to dogs to exotic birds. My mom also volunteered at animal shelters and had a rescue rehabilitation going for a while.
Oh, that's great. I love that. That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, we like going to our local animal shelter every once in a while with our daughter. She loves the animals.
She does.
It's a cool
also
experience.
The zoo. We love the zoo.
Yeah, the zoo is so much fun. Let me see. Brianna says the Rolls-Royce Cullinan is more stately than the Bentayga.
You know, that is very true. That is very true. It does
not have a B on the front.
No, it doesn't.
That's the thing. We gotta have the B on the front.
You know, but I haven't really looked into any of these cars. So like if I had the means, then I would like more seriously consider looking into everything and like driving everything and stuff. Whatever.
Carsec Wood said, what are your thoughts on car reviewers using public roads like racetracks, testing mainly sports cars? Not you, but I see popular reviewers going on throttle and they are going to wipe someone out.
Oh,
I mean, I also do accelerations. I think, you know, and I haven't seen any that are, there's been, I would say that there's some non-reviewers that are just car YouTubers that have done way worse stuff, and they do it for content purposes, whether it's street racing or just crazy stuff and crazy builds that are sketchy and all this kind of stuff. That to me is honestly more scary than actual reviewers who do this for their job, that have had track experience, that's really fast. Like, I mean, the on throttle thing, like that's, I know a Joe Rady, trademark thing, he goes on throttle, but he like used to race cars. I mean, these are people who obviously, like, I get it, you don't want to use a public road as a racetrack, but I know most of us, I mean, I'll just speak for myself. I guess I can't speak for everyone else, but I know me personally, like, if I do a 0 to 60 or something like that, I always try and do it in one high speed limit area. So I'm not going that much over the speed limit, if much at all. And also just, I did a little acceleration and then I slow down. Then I'm going reasonable speeds the rest of the time. And so maybe it looks like I'm going faster sometimes, but I am actually really cognizant of the speed limit and trying to make sure that I'm not a lunatic on the road.
And where the cops are.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's also, all that too, but and I will even also add that, especially now being a dad, like I'm extra careful, and I'm really like, not only for myself and wanting to preserve my own life, but also the fact that, like, everyone else obviously has very precious cargo in their cars as well. And the last thing I want to do is ever put anyone at risk. And I think most decent reviewers that I know would say the same thing. And so it's, obviously we all have probably not the best judgment calls sometimes, and no one's perfect. And again, I don't know, which reviewers are referring to in particular, but I definitely would say you gotta obviously treat things with respect, and you also have to know the limits of the cars. You have to, be safe about that stuff, because speed is definitely a big issue. It's been a big issue ever since COVID, with everyone having less traffic on the roads and being like, woohoo, my own personal racetrack. And so I think, there is some of that. Obviously traffic has come back, but that mentality, it seems like, has stuck around because there's way more speeding than there was pre-COVID. And there's just this culture of higher speed limits being acceptable by the general public. So I think speeding is actually an issue for sure. And it's something that we got to make sure that, we're not going overboard with. And that's something I'm very, very mindful of. For, again, also, just the fact I don't want to get in trouble on filming myself speeding, and that's why a lot of times I don't do POV stuff. There's these people that do POV videos and they're showing themselves going 100 miles an hour on a public road. And I'm like, I'm glad I don't have to, stay awake at night thinking about that crap, because I could not, sleep at night knowing that I'm putting videos out there of me with evidence going, insanely fast. That would just be terrifying to me. But, Bill, thank you for a super chat. He says, I have the opportunity to purchase a Gen 1 Volt. Any good? 2014, 50,000 miles. Well, that's a unicorn, that low of mileage. People love Volts. They have, a huge cult following. I've never driven one, so I have no clue. I just know they were genius cars for their time, and even to this day. I wish I had more impressions on a Volt, but I don't. So, but it sounds like you found a real rare one there with that low of mileage. So I'd go for it. I think everything I've heard about Volts has always been good for the most part. So I think it's probably a solid buy. But again, I don't have a ton of experience. I can't give you a very intelligent answer, but I like the Volt from what I know about it. And I'd love to review one someday if I can ever get a chance to get my hands on one, because I think they were really a brilliant car. And, one of those things that wasn't appreciated until it was too late and GM already killed it off, So, but thank you so much, Bill, for the super chat, and best of luck if you do decide to go for that. And let me see here. Other questions. A says, the French Whisperer ASMR channel is my fave.
I have not seen them, but I can look them up. I love ASMR.
See, Raphael says, wait, Beth has anxiety, so she has a child. I think.
Yes.
Do you want to speak on that?
I don't know. Yes, I have dealt with anxiety for a long time. There was many things that went into that. I've been in therapy. I definitely know my ins and outs. I know triggers. I know everything that I have a lot of things that help me work through those feelings. I have a lot of people and a lot of support that help me with a lot of stuff. So I think, it's just a way of life. And I think a lot of people deal with a lot of anxiety. So I know that it's not like just me. Sometimes it feels like it's just me, but it's okay. And, being a mom and going through postpartum also can bring on a lot of anxiety and depression and things like that. And I'm fully aware of that. And I do think sometimes I have touches of things here and there. But I definitely try to keep myself as good as I can. And so, I do have a lot of support. Matt is wonderful with that. And my family is really great and my friends are great. So, I get through it, and sometimes you just have to go day by day, and sometimes it's fine and sometimes it's not, and that's okay. But as long as you can have your people in your back pocket, I think you can be okay.
Yeah, and even Newt's chiming in, says, as someone with anxiety, I can vouch for that as well. The biggest thing is knowing and being aware of yourself and know what to do in those situations.
Yeah, and I think I'm definitely a planner, and I need to know everything, and I have to sometimes go through every scenario of what if this, what if that, and sometimes it may seem like I'm crazy, but at least I have those situations in my back pocket, so
prepared.
Yeah, but
yeah. And I have to say, we're getting really deep here, but I think she's made tremendous progress. We've been together now for 10 years almost, and it's really been impressive how much stuff she's gone through and how far she has come, and she's incredibly strong. And again, I guess I could say I'm biased, but when I see how other people parent kids who have probably undiagnosed anxiety and, have, just all of the stuff that generations of parents have dumped crap on their kids and stuff, I think that, she's doing a phenomenal job. And honestly, I think that background has helped make her a better mom, because she is more in tune with not only her own emotions, but how our daughter might be processing her emotions. And she is more able to reflect on that stuff more so than someone who's just like, oh, it's fine, and like, you know, like just shuffle everything away or whatever. You know, I think it's, you know, she's more empathetic and just more in tune with emotions than the average person that maybe tries to push away emotions or tries to have, you know, less intense emotions sometimes. Because I think a lot of people have, you know, anxieties and get stressed about all kinds of stuff. And, you know, I think that's something that's really been destigmatized. And I think it's really good that that has, you know, kind of been a broader topic of conversation, because I think it's important. And it's something, I mean, I have anxieties about all kinds of stuff as well. And I think most people, if they're honest with themselves, a lot of people do, not everyone's different, obviously. And kudos to those of you who are strong and never nervous about anything, you know, but I think it's nothing to be ashamed of. And thanks for sharing as well, Newt. And I see Austin also says, I get anxiety sometimes just ordering coffee, nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't call people on the phone. Like, I'm not great with that, but I still have to do it. And
you do it. That's the important thing, is you do those things, and you know, rise to those challenges, and you usually crush them, you know?
Yeah, but I think like I think one thing that helps me, you know, since having a kid, or even before having a kid, to prepare me with a child, was I babysat and was a nanny for years, and that didn't affect me in a way. So like, being a parent is a million times harder than being like a part-time nanny, but at the same rate, I think it definitely helped me. I feel like, yeah, I'm definitely very much in tune with her and her emotions, and trying to help her get through that stuff. And I'm just a really big, like, I think mental health is something that I think everybody could benefit from dealing, or from going to a therapist, or just working through your emotions in a healthy way. So as you're in a better place. I just like, I think I just want everybody to be happy, and it's really hard for people, and it's really hard for me to see people that are struggling and that need that help. And I feel like I'm always just very like feeling for a lot of people, and that's why it's hard for me to watch some of these movies, because I'm like, oh my gosh,
even when it's not real, it's still like
it's not real. But it's like, I get home and I like have nightmares about the person in the movie, you know. So it's just like, yeah. So I think I've always been like that, even before. I feel like I dealt with a lot of anxiety, and maybe I dealt with anxiety a lot more when I was younger and didn't realize, but I feel like at the same rate, I feel like I'm okay.
Yeah. And Raphael says, we're all totally supportive. I was kind of being funny. Even being around other people's kids gives me anxiety.
Oh yeah. Well, yes, that's true. That happens with me too. So
yeah. And it's definitely.
Don't worry. I'm not upset about it.
Yeah. And it's definitely a lot.
That's the thing, is like, I can always be open and honest about mental health and my mental health struggles, because I feel like if a lot of people knew, you know, things that I went through or whatever, I'm always open to like, to talking to people about that kind of stuff, because I feel like if something resonates with you, then it could really help somebody else feel better. And, you know, there you go.
So we'll go back to his some say comment here, because we missed that earlier. He said, Clarkson voice, some say, like Pokemon, he evolved from Subaru Impreza fan, and that Matt is afraid to evolve him to Subaru STI fan because he's scared. All we know is he's Subaru X fan. There you go. Yeah, you got the whole progression there, from the Impreza up to the STIs and everything in between. So thank you so much, Trunk Car Guy, for a $50 super chat. I really appreciate it.
That's really nice.
It says a little something for Beth's birthday. Much. There you go.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. Please, I also like, that's why we weren't gonna like mention our birthday, because they're not trying.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But thank you so much though for your kindness. That's very sweet. Let me see. KJ says, thanks, you guys. Made me smile. What do you think about the rumored Z01 will be like? I mean, it sounds like it's just going to be Z06 with twin turbos, which is going to be, I don't even know. My brain can't process how you even, like, how much crazier that's going to be. I mean, it's just probably going to be more wheel spin, honestly. And I worry it'll be worse than a Z06, to be totally honest. But mean, GM has done amazing things, so I'm fully willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and, wait to, do the hard work of trying it out myself and sing, I think it'll be fun to try for sure. Austin says Savage Geese goes a little hard on public roads. Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't watch enough car reviews of other people to make any judgments for most of the time. Yeah, it was funny. This little side note, whenever I was on the Tacoma launch a couple of months ago, I was being driven by Jack and Mark was in the front passenger seat, and I was in the back seat of the new Tacoma, and we were on these little windy canyon roads outside of Malibu, California there. And we're done filming, and Jack just wanted to get back to the hotel, and he wasn't like going crazy, but I mean, you could just see he just, I don't know, like going on this canyon. I'm like in the back of this Tacoma, like, holy crap. Like he was really, I mean, it wasn't insane or scary or anything, but like they were all very good drivers, but obviously, even then we were not going crazy or anything. We were being very respectful for sure of the speed limits there. Mike says, yeah, there's usually no one around them too, which is probably true. Two says, Matt has to be careful with speed. It's not only because of what he's saying, but also because Toyota doesn't want to lose their shill. They don't want to rely on the karate chop guy. Yep. I would love to be,
Sorry, I have a hair on my nose.
Oh.
It's itchy.
I would love to be paid by Toyota. That'd be wonderful at this point, especially with the views declining. I would, if Toyota offered me a paid gig.
You know what? Oh, you know what? Listen, I did what? Have, I now I'm listening. Now I know. I did give Matt advice, and I told him he should be an independent car consultant because I feel like there's so many people who are always like, oh my gosh, I want this, but I don't know what to get. But I want an SUV, but what kind of SUV should I get, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, you should be a consultant because I feel like you would be super good at that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like let us know what you think.
Yeah, doing like more like one-on-one stuff, or like I actually have like a video chat one-on-one with someone and like charge a service to like, really like guide people through everything and really like, do a serious kind of in-person almost kind of talk with someone and really work them through that. And it's just, again, being so maxed out, it's like one of those things that'd be tough. It'd be like one of those like chicken and the egg. Like if there was enough people interested in that, then I could potentially like justify taking the time out of my schedule to do less car reviews and do more of that. Because I love helping people. That's why I do this, is to help people find cars they love. And if I can do that on a one-on-one basis and actually, still pay the bills doing that, then that would be great. So that is something I would definitely love to do. But I feel like, a lot of times the reviews are enough for people, and doing one or two. Sometimes people send me a message or two on Facebook, and that'll be enough to help people. And they don't need that much help. So I don't know how much demand there is, but if there is demand for that, if I'd love to, get feedback. If other people would be interested in that, that would be something that would be a lot of fun to do for sure. What are you seeing there? There's some cool stuff. Says you can tell how freaked out Matt is by how far his neck veins stick out. Yeah, and that's how you can tell even with my acceleration reactions. Like there'll be some people like, oh man, Matt's neck veins are popping, so he's really getting jazzed about this car. So there you go.
People don't like mine. I can like
a little bit there.
That freaked people out in high school. So let's cover
that's like a little like alien kind of thing almost going on there. And Overgrowth Society says, I'm a health coach and we recognize anxiety, depression, bipolar, etc. as a blood sugar issue. We help overcome these issues with nutrition.
That's interesting because my mom always thought that I had like blood sugar issues, and I think she got me tested for diabetes because like as a kid I was always like chugging down like sugary drinks. But I don't know if she ever tested me for it. But I do always I do always have candy around, so I'm always just.
And there are times where like you are like the Snickers commercial where like if she hasn't had protein in a while, or if her blood sugar is kind of like low, like she will actually like have a Snickers or something like that, and that really helps in those kind of scenarios sometimes. So yeah, like boost that. So it's something we have observed for sure. And and so,
I do love sugar, so that's
I'm like, you're not you without a Snickers. And so there you go too. I'm a shill for Snickers. So there you go. No, not sponsored. I wish it was. Snickers, if you want to do an ad, call me up. But
I just at Sam's Club, because we shop at Sam's Club, I got what is it? A Snickers yardstick. They were 18 18 full-size Snickers bars for $4. I mean,
It was like insanely cheap. Yeah,
I bought 2 of them because I'm like, we'll have Snickers.
Yeah, we
we'll
can make a
have them
side
for the
business
rest of
like
the year.
Yeah, we can make a side business selling Snickers from Sam's Club and like individually like reselling them to other people because it's like insanely cheap there. Not sponsored by Sam's Club. Sam's Club coming up. I'm just kidding. Let me see. Other questions here though. Where was I? Getting back to the member questions. Trent Carga says, having been and planning to go back into driving an 18-wheeler, I can see these reviewers barreling toward large vehicles from a slightly different perspective than a lot of other people. Yeah, and I mean,
on the ice, seeing those videos are crazy.
Oh, the ice stuff is crazy too. Yeah. But I mean, I've been seeing my Instagram. I think Instagram has figured out that like I like seeing like crash videos where I have to like watch just that like I can't look away. I'm like, oh wow, there's a crash. I'm like, go watch that reel. And so on my explore page, it's always like cars and then like cars crashing, and half of them are like 18-wheeler dash cams of like people like doing stupid stuff in front of a giant 18-wheeler, and like obviously that's not going to turn out well for the vehicle that isn't an 18-wheeler. But it's crazy. So yeah, I can only imagine the stuff you see, Truck and Car Guy. And I see also there's some cool stuff. Says good conversation, gang. Thanks for sharing your story as well. And Cars with Tim says, can Beth drive the Bullet? We talked about that a little bit earlier, but
nope, he won't let me.
Yeah, it's my baby, and I am very picky about basically like no one else drive it unless they absolutely have to for a very solid reason. But also, I mean, like if you had carte blanche with the Bullet,
oh man,
but like would you actually take it out? Like I feel like you just take the Mach-E, or you take a press car if you actually like we're gonna drive
no, I wouldn't just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go drive the Bullet,
because it's not like you like
no, I don't go out alone ever.
Well,
I have my child.
Like, well, yeah, that, and also, yeah, I guess we could put the car seat in the back of the Bullet.
Yeah, I'm not putting. He wants to take her out in the car, and I don't want him to.
You don't want me to?
I don't know if I don't want you to, but I just feel like it's not going to fit very well in the car.
Yeah, we've talked about it's going to be a pain to put it in there, but like we're going to do a drive at some point probably this year, and it'll be fun because she's got to experience.
She keeps saying she wants to go in Daddy's loud car, so
yeah. So, and let me see. I also see there's some cool stuff. I missed your comment earlier. I said, remember everyone, we are all in this together. It's natural to be worried and concerned. Sometimes we have bad days as part of the experience.
Very true.
Absolutely. Thanks for chiming in. Marco says, we wish Subaru would bring back the STI. Yep. Right there with you. And Alex says, short, compare and contrast S2000 versus M2 versus 370Z. Very different experiences. I have reviews on all of those if you want to hear how they're different. That's really tough to do quickly, to be totally honest. I mean, and they're different generations, especially when you're comparing it to an M2. So I would need more context from you as far as what exactly you're interested in with those vehicles, what components of those vehicles you're liking to compare and contrast. I could do that about the driving experience, the interior, the any other number of things. But they're all fun in their own ways. It just comes down to different flavors and which flavor do you like best, basically. And as Savannah says, like Brad Brownwell and Jalopnik, I think I've heard that name, but I don't know what you're talking about, unfortunately. Wheatman says Matt would be great as a car edge coach. Yes, car edge.
I don't know what that is.
Well, so I mean,
it's okay.
they have a website, and now they have a YouTube channel. I have to say I'm not in love with their YouTube channel, but I won't go down that rabbit hole. But I'd like to definitely do consulting someday if I could find a way to make it work. He says I think he does car sourcing for people as a consultant. That's cool. Yeah. Oh well, maybe I should ever see if I can connect with him someday. That'd be fun to do. I'd love to that would be a fun different job if I didn't do YouTube. I'd love to have rich people pay me to hunt down a car for them. And
he wants to be he would do that for movies.
Oh, that would be awesome too. Yeah, it'd be like a movie like a manager for like being like, yes, like you should put this car in your 1940s movie. Like, do not put this other car in, and make sure the cars actually have rust and
It's
dinged
so
up
funny
so they like
how
are.
upset he gets in like timepiece movies where like we watch them and he's like, oh, that car's not from the 40s.
Yeah,
That's definitely a 52.
And I'm like, come on, like they wouldn't have to pay me that much. Like, really don't have to pay me that much, but just like I would love to be a car consultant for movies and TV shows just to get it right. Be like, look, this is something that's appropriate for this movie. This isn't appropriate, and source the right cars. But also, yeah, just finding cool cars for people. I think it'd be a lot of fun. What do you think?
Austin's just hitting us with the zingers today.
He says, "Hey, Matt, if you had to be stuck on a desert island with Car Edge or Doug DeMuro, which would it be?" Oh man, Austin.
I don't know any of them, so it's great. It's fine. I would be with none of them. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I had a cold this week, so I'm like rubbing my nose.
Do you need a Kleenex?
No, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I just don't want people making them wrong.
I honestly don't know how I'd answer that question. I'd probably just get in the water and try and swim away until I would just fade off into oblivion. I'd be like, well, you know, I tried. It was better than dying on the island. I mean, I will say I haven't met either of, you know, the people that run Car Edge, or I haven't met Doug in person.
Yeah, he's got to give him a chance.
People like Doug, but I'd certainly have a long talk with Doug on the desert island and then probably swim away.
See you later.
Yeah, that's it. But no, I'm sure Doug is a fine guy, and I don't want to ever throw anybody under the bus. You know, but there's much bigger villains in this world to have a problem with. So this is very small potatoes compared to real problems in the world. But anyway, let me see. Getting back to some other questions here.
Here, I'm down here.
Thank you. So. KJ said, I think you should try being an independent consultant. That could be a great thing to try in the future. Yeah, that's definitely something. Yeah. And I would have to find a way. I got to find a way to not be maxed out so I have free time to like try new things. Cause I'm just like, I'm so maxed out.
He doesn't have time for anything. I mean, like he doesn't have time for anything. We were talking, I was out shoveling the snow with my daughter because I was like, let's just get out of the house and do something.
I have a snowblower. So
Matt was like, oh, I'll blow the snow at 5 o'clock because he'll work from the time he gets up till 5 o'clock. And he's
sometimes after too, but
yeah, he said, I'll do this at 5. And I was like, no, I'm just going to go out because she was antsy. I was like, let's go play in the snow. So I was doing that. And we were talking to the neighbor and he was like, so like, is he away? And I'm like, no, he's not. He's just working. And he's
like, why is your husband not shoveling the driveway? Like, it's not a good look.
No, but listen, like we were having fun. The toddler needs to be run around places. So she's fine. But yeah, I think it's just like everyone is always like confused as to like why I'm out doing a lot of like yard work or like other things, and it's always just because I am available and Matt is just busy 24/7. And I was telling our neighbor, I said, yeah, he is just like, I feel like he's like pulling 60-hour work weeks because like he'll wake up and immediately start working until 5, and then at 5 o'clock he eats dinner, we put the baby to bed, and then it's like sometimes he is like working again until 11 p.m. and it's just like he just works all the time.
And I try not to if I can avoid it, and I try to stick to a 9 to 5 as much as I possibly can.
But he's maxed out, very maxed out, and so like he sees like his friends going and doing things, and I feel bad. I like wish he could do a lot more things more often, but you know, it's just where we're at right now, and he's just working, and that's okay.
Yeah. And so hopefully it's always the goal is that someday, the channel get big enough that I can just relax a little bit and go back to doing one car review a week like I used to and stuff. But got to feed the beast these days, and for us again, it's just not getting enough views to justify taking any kind of foot off the gas. I gotta pump out stuff as much as I possibly can here. All right, so let me see. 2 says, car question. This is rare for me. Will there ever be a 22B successor? I would love to see one, but I don't think so, especially the way Subaru is going right now. I don't think there will ever be one. It'd be nice, but yeah, I'd say of all the cars that could come back from every car company in the world, I would put the 22B almost close to the bottom of the very last for vehicles that will ever probably come back as again, just unless there's radical changes at Subaru's management. But yes. I don't think so. And two says, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, someone said, Doug, I guess we're not getting heat in the basement tonight. And can you explain why Beth can't use the basement slaves? Jeez. The two is really leaning in heavy to the.
I mean, I can't explain it, but like, it would be nice for some help because
yeah,
I'm just doing everything around
That's
here.
it. Yeah, I know. We're all just working all the time here. And Hunter says car companies should pay people like Matt to come drive cars that are years or months out and give real world feedback. They do have some people that do that. I know. I think Jason Camisa even mentioned recently on a podcast that he had a company. I can't remember which company, but someone brought him out. I will say, I mean, they're going to bring out people that have had either prior race experience or people that are, to be totally honest, better drivers than me and better reviewers than me, because I will be the first to admit I'm not the best in either of those regards. I mean, I would say I'm a pretty good driver. I've done, at least 4 driving schools. I've done, a couple of track events a year usually. So I wouldn't say I'm the worst by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm, unfortunately, I don't think I am high enough caliber to do this. I mean, I would happily accept, something like that. If someone did want to bring me out, I would love to do that stuff. That would be my dream. Because I mean, I went to college originally to be a mechanical engineer and work on cars from the inside and change them from the inside out. And that obviously didn't pan out, but I would love to segue into that if I ever could someday. Cars with Tim says thoughts on Volvo. I love Volvo. I know Beth loves Volvos as well, especially she's got some Swedish
So, whoa, yikes.
Swedish heritage.
I'm very Swedish and I have red hair, but I am not at all Irish. But I am very Swedish, so I would love a Volvo.
Yeah, and that could be a potential replacement someday. The EX90, I love. It looks really cool so far, and
yeah, they definitely look cool for sure.
All the new Volvo stuff should be pretty sweet. So maybe someday.
I did like the XC40 Recharge, but like there were so many things about it that I hated.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, if they would have packaged it, I think better. Like if they would have offered a leather option, if it would have had CarPlay at the time, which it didn't, if it would have had Sirius satellite radio, which it didn't even have, just was really not
so many things, and it was smaller than the Mach-E just by a tad, so didn't love it.
But I mean, potentially, again in 2.5 years, when we need a replacement for the Mach-E, Volvo is going to be probably one we at least think about. We'll have to see.
Never know.
We haven't even considered that yet. And A Silva says, "Hi, Matt and Beth. Just got off work. Great to see you both here together. Happy birthday."
Thank you.
Austin says, "Cutting back on caffeine helps with my anxiety levels." Yeah, that's something that
I don't drink a lot of caffeine. If I drink caffeine, I'm up till 3 a.m.
Yeah,
any kind of caffeine. It's insane.
You'll have it like in the morning, and that's it.
Yeah, I can have it in the morning, but like I have to like definitely stop by like 10 a.m.
And Newt says I drink more caffeine to help with mine, and that's
it's could work either way.
Yeah, and that's the great thing is everyone's different, and it's great that you found what works for you. That's awesome. And let me see. A Silva says hope to run into you both at Disneyland again. Oh, okay, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
I love Disney.
Yeah.
I love Disney.
We'll have to see if we get back to Disneyland. I'd love to
go back to Disneyland. We're taking our daughter to Disney World.
Yeah, a few months here. But yeah, so I'd love to take her to Disneyland there too, just for Cars Land. I want to take her to Cars Land at night.
Yeah, she would love that.
It'd be so cool. So hopefully we'll get there, and hopefully we run into you if we do. And Trunk Car Guy says, I don't blame Matt with regards to the Bullet. I'm similar with the Magnum, and it's nowhere near as expensive. Yeah, it's just I'm very particular.
It's okay. I'm not mad about it. I just was like, should I drive stick? And yeah, I like to bother him about it.
Yeah. And Two says, cutting in front of an 18-wheeler. Don't talk about your crimes, Matt. Definitely not me. I value my life too much to do that. Mike says, go down, G. Cars with Tim says, I own a 2018 Volvo S60. And what are your thoughts on it? I love the S60s. I did a review, I think it was a 2019. So you can hear all my thoughts on the S60s and that. I think the S60 is great. I really enjoyed it. I think it's kind of underrated as far as sports sedans goes. And yeah, I really like it. Mike says, "Go down the car edge rabbit hole, Matt." I don't want to start beef with anybody. I try and not rock the boats, and and I also like, part of the reason why, and actually this is coming, I listened just this past week. I had time to finally listen to the podcast that Matt Farah did with Jason Camisa.
This trucking car guy said, "Get my shovel ready." Thanks.
There you go.
I appreciate your help. It's okay. I love shoveling.
Yeah, it's good workout for you, right?
Yeah,
you like it. Yeah. But I was listening to the podcast with Jason Camisa and Matt Farah, where Matt Farah was apologizing for not talking to Jason Camisa first before he said all those things on his podcast. And again, I know Doug probably would never want to talk to me, and Courage probably wouldn't bother to talk to me either. But I would, instead of just talking crap online and then having them not ever give their side of something, I would would rather like discuss things with them first before I start publicly airing my issues and grievances or whatever. It's I think a lot of you can piece together stuff too. They're just, especially like, with the Courage thing, since that's something I haven't talked about in the past. I mean, look at the type of videos that they do and the way they title them, the way they frame them, and how I really just do things differently. And I will just leave it at that to keep it surface level.
You got to start giving some Easter eggs.
No, it's just,
come on.
Yeah.
You got to give them what they want.
I'm just, I'm not about fear mongering. I'm not about clickbaits. I really try and be upfront with my titles, which I know hurts the videos, but I'd rather be honest. I'd rather just, be upfront and not waste people's time and not, trick people into a click or, make people think that I'm the only one who can be trusted, or that I'm, like the world's going to end tomorrow because GM's going under, except they're not going under. And it's like all there. I have a whole thing. There's actually so many, and I may do a rant video about this someday, because this isn't actually any particular channel. There's lots of channels that do this, and it's really started to irk me. There's so much fake car news where people are like, Toyota's saying they're not doing EVs anymore. And it's like, if you watch these weekly updates, Toyota has a bunch of stuff coming, and anyone who is following car news knows that's a load of crap. But they get those headlines in there, and people are like, oh man, like Toyota's saying no more EVs. And there was, I think, another one, Mary Barr from GM says no more EVs. That's not true. It's just straight up lying in titles and thumbnails. That's not cool to me. And like, there's so many channels that do that. I mean, Scotty does that. I mean, there's a bunch of people. I could take shots all night, but like, do not lie. If it's not true, then it's not true. Like, I mean, obviously we're talking about YouTube and the internet, and everything is just a complete crap show to keep this PG. So, I mean,
we could get on this toxic gossip train all night.
I could get into it, but it just, but that works. I mean, there was the famous Ben Franklin quote that's like, a lie can travel around the world while the truth is just putting its pants on and to get out the door. Like, it's, truth isn't sexy. Truth doesn't scare people into clicking. Truth, is just, it's not attractive. It's, and I could further expand on that, but I won't. But so obviously, we can go in various directions with that. But I've just noticed it in the car news world. The reason why my weekly updates don't get any views is because I say, this is what's coming. Like, the title for this weekly update this past week was Honda Civic Hybrid coming this summer.
And did I click? No.
Yeah, there you go. This is the problem with the channel. But, like, I just want to have people be like, oh, I'm interested in that car. I would like to click on that and learn more. That is, I'm trying to be very, upfront with my titles and stuff, which I know hurts the channel, instead of saying, Honda's saying no to EVs, and then be like, but the reason why is that they have a little Civic Hybrid and the EVs are coming in 2 years or whatever, and some false technicality of, is this true or not true? It's just, and I mean, I'd like to think that, maybe someday taking the high road is going to pay off. I doubt it will, because clearly everyone else is laughing all the way to the bank, and I'm over here, grinding my heart out, trying to, keep things afloat. Yeah. But the reality is that's what sells. But it sucks that, people choose, you vote with your clicks, and people choose to support that. And I know that it's human nature to be like, oh no, is that really happening? And then click. They know what they're doing. They're very cunning with these titles and these thumbnails, but it sucks because it just glorifies lies, and the truth gets suppressed. And you know, it is what it is. This is the nature of the internet in 2024, and it's been the nature of the internet for a long time. But it's just, I've been seeing more and more of this where people are finding that this is a very popular thing on car news stuff. And then we've seen people jump on this with the EVs in the past 6 months of, you know, Ford scaling back Lightning production because people are now have bought all the Lightnings they want to buy. And now there's some, you know, actual dealer stock, which look at dealer stock for regular F-150s of the past 100 years. They've always had dealer stock. Now they have dealer stock of F-150 Lightnings. And everyone's like, oh no, the Lightning's not selling anymore. And it's like, nope, it's just selling like any other normal F-150 now, where there's incentives and there's dealer stock and stuff. But people jump on these things and say Ford's going out of business because they can't sell a zillion Lightnings, and it's like, nope, that's not the case. But people click on that because there's lots of people that want to see EVs fail. And I'm not saying EVs are the golden solution to everything, but like, you know, that's just one example of this crap that I keep seeing so much of. And it's like, I look at that and I'm like, how am I going to compete with that with the weekly updates? How am I going to compete with the truth when, you know, the lies are so much more appealing? And so that is, you know, why the weekly updates might not be able to keep going forever, because I can't do them for free. And if, you know, they get 5,000 views, it's just not going to, you know, keep going. But anyway, sorry, I just got on a little tangent there.
And be okay.
Yep. But let me see. So I know I'm so behind on member questions, and I apologize, guys.
Listen,
if there's
I
anything.
can just bang these right.
You want to bang them out quick?
Okay.
You can. I'll let you take over here, and we'll,
because
we're at 2 hours. We'll try and wrap this up here. So Austin says, hey, Matt, I love your reviews, but I like to see more variety of content. Personally, I loved your junkyard tours, for example, of car reviews or maxing out.
I liked those.
Yeah, it was so much fun to do. Didn't get a lot of views, though, and that's always the end all be all is, does it get views or not? I have a lot of things I'd love to do that just wouldn't be popular. I do want to try at least 1 or 2 more of those just to see if maybe I can, you know, do another one, and maybe there'll be, you know, some extra, I'll have a better luck, you know, the next time, or maybe I'll find something more clickbaity that's, you know, exciting for people, you know, to see. I thought the first one was really exciting, but, you know, clearly that didn't play out. But Austin says health and quality of life comes first. I agree, but, you know, also, you know, paying bills also is important. So unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of prioritizing myself all the time. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, getting mentioned in almost every stream here, but why can't Subaru make a Baja? Makes so much sense. You know what? Like, I think that they should, because we love the Baja. I think my best friend's dad had a Baja. It was bright yellow and we loved it. And it's just like, it does make sense because they don't have a truck right now, right? So why not?
I know, it's crazy.
Trucks are so in right now for a lot of people, I guess. I don't know. I don't need a truck, but
and 2 says he's signing off. He just have to go get tied to the radiator.
Bye.
Have a good night, 2. Thanks for joining in. We will sign off here in a few minutes as well. A Silva says, good on you, Matt. Be known for what you love, not who you hate. Yeah, I definitely don't want to dwell on the negatives. Austin says clickbait's good for short-term engagement, but over time it turns people off. That's true, but you know what? It seems like it doesn't turn that many people off. You know, we have a lot of these channels that still have a ton of fans, still have a ton of subscribers, still are growing. So I wish that was the case. YouTube wants that to be the case because YouTube doesn't like clickbait either, but their algorithm feeds into it. As much as they try and discourage it, it seems like it still just keeps on happening. And Demo, thank you so much for the super chat there. He says, been watching you for years. Thank you. That really means a lot. I know there's so many of you that have watched so long. And I really appreciate the support all these years. It really blows me away. And it really is.
And
great.
You guys make him so happy. So thank you, because I think sometimes he really gets down in the dumps about a lot of stuff. And I think you guys really help him out. So thank you.
Yeah, these are so fun. And I appreciate all the support. Every comment always means more than you guys know. And Mike says, Car Edge kept frequently posting, wait 90 days to buy a car for like a year. Yeah. Well, there you go. You said it. And Austin says, I'd love to see a Matt rant segment. Yeah, you know, it's a fine line to walk for sure. Because I could go off about all kinds of stuff. I'm opinionated about everything you can possibly imagine, but you know, trying not to alienate too many people and trying to, you know, again, just
we can't get canceled.
Yeah, I don't want to have everyone's fans of all these other channels, you know, be trying to, you know, be mad and all this stuff. So I'm just trying to stay in my lane and, you know, try and do my best at what I do and hope that someday that, you know, gets to a better place, from a growth standpoint than where we're at currently. But Karsek Wood said, love your channels. Honestly, Matt, I wish we could just take shots on crappy reviewers. One recently made me mad who did a whole video on the confirmed new Xterra. When asked sources in the comments, there was silence.
Of course.
And it's just like, why? I mean, I guess it's just, again, they're laughing all the way to the bank. So lying works. It's really sad. Dave says your genuine attitude is what makes your channel different and why I'm here. Well, I appreciate that, Dave. And I know that's why so many of you are here. And I do appreciate that. I just, I just, hope that someday the growth comes back and that, again, things just get to a better place on the channel here, because it just seems like every day there's less and less people that appreciate that. But those comments really do remind me that there are still people out there that really do. And I see all the supportive comments all the time. So I know there's a lot of you that really do support it, and it means a lot. It's just tough to see the numbers and see the decline and all that, and just, trying to still be positive. It's tough sometimes. Let me see.
Oh, I'm sorry you can't sleep, Night Kid.
I missed it.
I can never join these lives because of European time zone, but luckily could not sleep tonight.
Oh man, yeah, sorry to hear that.
I hope you can get to sleep soon. I can totally relate.
All right, so I'll try and wrap up here soon, but Guard says, thank you for being you, Matt. I've been watching since the BRZ days. Appreciate how down to earth you both are. Thank you.
That was a loud car.
Yeah. You didn't love the exhaust on the BRZ,
I did not. No, I did not like it. I was ready to rip off my ears when we went on a 2-hour road trip. So.
Yep. And Demo says, I support you, Redline Reviews, Straight Pipes, and Ox Oils. Thank you. We're all, they're all great guys, and I really appreciate the support. All right. So, Danny says, would you consider doing weekly updates for members? If the memberships got to a large enough point, I could, keep that as a, excuse me, member only thing. It's just a lot of work. It's, usually about 2 days worth of work to do that. So it would have to, the memberships would have to grow to a bigger extent. I'd have to put that behind a paywall, which I don't want to put that behind a paywall, because I don't want to have to make people pay for truthful car news. So that's the problem. Yeah, I mean, that could be a potential solution, but it would again have to be way more members. And I don't want to have, I know that you have to pay for good news and good journalism these days. You can't get, the best news for free most of the time. In a lot of cases, if you want good journalism, you have to pay for it. I'm not saying I'm like an amazing journalist or anything, but as far as outside of other, news stuff, outside of the car world. But anyway, I don't want to put things behind a paywall if I can avoid it. Iona says, hey, Matt, I'm not really a car guy or anything. Just wanted to say you're the only car YouTube channel I'm sub to and watch on a semi-consistent basis. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully the channel is informative for you and helps you with your car buying decisions there. Nike says today there's not neutral journalism. We only see BS and those clickbaits. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Cars with Tim says worst car of 2023. Yeah, honestly, I don't even know. I think there's a couple. I think one of the most disappointing ones for me was the Z Nismo, especially the one I had. Some people say the handling's amazing, but the one I had, just the tires were just crap. And I don't know why.
The one you were really upset about?
Well, yeah, it's the one I almost it stepped out on me and I had to catch it, and it's really sketchy. And I wasn't even going that crazy. So I mean, that was. And I mean, just everything about that car is just so disappointing in my opinion. So Z Nismo, I'd probably say is the top one for me. It wasn't the worst car of 2023, but to me, it was the most disappointing car, I'd say, which is slightly different. It's not like it was, it's still fine transportation, I guess, if you're not trying to drive it fast and you don't care about value. But yeah, just not my favorite. All right, so I think, okay, Robert, thank you so much for the super chat here. Says there's too many lies and superficial people on the internet. Keep doing what you and Beth are doing. I appreciate it. And all right, so we'll try and wrap it up here. Bruce says the car consulting thing makes perfect sense. Yeah, that'd be fun. Rafi, thank you so much for a super chat as well. He says happy birthday, Beth, and it was a treat for having you join. I still love all your videos and the weekly update. May this help to extend it. Have a drink on me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Austin says the 2 hours flew by. Tonight was so fun with Beth as a guest. Have a great week.
Thank you guys for having me. I hope I didn't ruin everything. Your fun chats.
No, it was great. It's great to get more personal here, get more, out of just the usual car stuff as well. And
if you want me to come back, let me know. And maybe I'll come back again.
Yeah, we can maybe do this, once a month or something. We won't have to schedule it or anything, but yeah, we'll do this again sometime. And as far as the live streams, of course, we'll get back to doing it again on Sunday here next Sunday, and get back to more car chat and all that as well. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. So thanks, Beth, for joining in here.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thanks for all of you for joining in as well. It was a really fun live stream. Thanks for all the great questions and all the support and everything. And
thanks for the birthday wishes. You guys are so sweet.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. So anyway, thank you all very much for watching. Have a great week. Stay tuned for some great content this week. It's going to be really fun end to the month here with some debuts and some really exciting stuff. So stay tuned for all that. Yeah. Yep. Tomorrow, your birthday. It's everyone's going to be thinking about it tomorrow. Yep. January 22nd.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right. Anyway, thank you all so much. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
See ya.